into power the first time and even now through a broad coalition. In fact, my interest that the ANC of South Africa, as you see, is a coalition of political parties, including COSATU, the labor organization in that country. So there's nothing wrong with the coalition.
But you talked about putting your best foot forward,
yes,
and also looking at the reading the room,
yes,
of course. And I bring this because of the ADC stats. They're saying ADC Sean zoning throws presidential ticket open to North, South, Atiku, Peter Obi, Amechi may clash at primaries. Governorship, senatorial, other tickets all open to all aspirants, daily asset. But when you listen to that, do you think that's a coalition that understands the reading of the room?
No. This other headline is very disturbing. And by now, I should have expected that. The coalition should have known, again, that time and events throw up certain kind of peculiarities in both aspirations, candidacy, and political party management. If you look at the ADC has gained traction, surprisingly, not because of the, in spite of the assemblage of men of yesteryears that are largely uninspiring, people that you can't even follow, you can't even land up behind, including, of course, the chairman of the ADC, the former Senate President David Mark, including the Potem National Secretary. When you look at the ADC and the structure as currently constituted, it's uninspiring. You could as well go to sleep and say, let them figure it out by themselves, and whoever defeats the other, so be it. But something changed when Obi stepped into that hall that day and identified with the coalition. The support the coalition is getting today, which is actually substantial, I must tell you this, surprisingly. I didn't give this coalition a chance. But I can tell that from the feelers we're getting on the ground, a lot of people are now gravitating towards the coalition and are waiting with bated breath to see what they will come up with in the next.
When you say people, who are we referring to?
Nigerians who have been yearning for an alternative to what they have currently. There was this fear that Nigeria was lying to a one-party state because of the demands of the PDP and the disarray in the Labour Party. So this is like a halt to that slide, and Nigerians have welcomed it. But I'm saying Nigerians have welcomed this coalition or the ADC because of the presence of Mr. Peter Obi there. Somebody they consider as different, and somebody whose conduct really is a bit different from the norm, really. I mean, let's give it to him. Now, I would expect that the party will leverage on that and take advantage of that to dig into the plow of people power, to harvest people power on their side. Because what a political party needs in opposition is people power. With people power, it will defy all forms of electoral subterfuge instigated by the incumbent. Because the people themselves that are going to send to do this are with the opposition because of the vast, armory of people power. So I'm expecting them to utilize the golden ball opposition of some sort. The same way this same coalition makes use of President Muhammadu Buhari to come to power. And most important, let me say this clearly. The ADC must understand that Nigerians across board will not want a northern presidency to outbreak down of the South before 2031.
I think someone agrees with you. I mean, from our social media, so Michael Efedi says, if Atiku emerges ADC presidential candidate, they will lose woefully. He also says Atiku should rest and back Peter Obi.
Look, let me say this ahead without any fear of contradiction. I said it before the PDP elections too. By this time, Atiku should become a statesman. Atiku should mobilize the North within his own sphere of influence to back Peter Obi for the ticket of the South for two reasons. Apart from the fact that Peter Obi is popular ahead of even the convention of ADC, very popular. Peter Obi comes from the Southeast, a zone that has shown Atiku enormous love and the PDP by extension since 1998. A zone that the party that it has supported since 1998 consistently, but have not been given that opportunity to present a presidential candidate on that platform. I think it's an embarrassment on the PDP. And since Atiku has moved to the ADC, he should not go in there and ensure this to redeem his own image. What I cannot say here today is I don't know if Atiku will lose if he runs. The last time I predicted that he was going to lose if he runs. I don't know whether he will lose, but there's something about what is called Pyrrhic victory. He should not want to grow up in a country that is dominated by the Muslim North, neither do want to grow up in one that is dominated by the Christian South. There has to be equity, fairness, and justice because there must be in Nigeria before people can rule over it.
There you have it. There you have it. I I watched the interview, and there is nothing I could take away from the analysis of the gentleman. He kind of hit the nail on the head on the coalition talk. If you have joined the spaces about coalition for the past 4 or 5 days, about a week now, he kind of captured and encapsulated the majority consensus. Yes, we can argue that we are not in spaces where our northern brothers gather. So we may not know what they are saying there. But for those of us that are on these X spaces, you've joined several spaces, the arguments that the journalist highlighted captures the majority consensus that if ADC coalition knows what is best for them, they should feature the star candidate Peter Obi, and I think that does a lot of justice to the conversation around the coalition. So let me invite you now to join the conversation. Let me see what you would add. If you want to speak, request the mic, and we'll give you the opportunity to share your thoughts, both on the fact that Peter Obi has said he's going to run, how do we organize, mobilize, and also react to the interview we just listened to, the analysis. Let's get your perspective. I thank you all for joining the space. Please retweet the space. Let's join the conversation. I'll go to Senator Goswill, my brother. What's your take on what we just heard on the coalition analysis?
Okay, thank you, my brother. I appreciate your spaces you've been holding quite most recently. This is exactly what I had echoed. I echoed this last week. I talked about the whole issue. I talked about emanated from when people were saying that obedience, saying Peter or nothing, Peter or nothing was an affront. That means that we're given preconditions with the coalition that is inappropriate. And I think last week I was so upset with the insinuation that obedience were being faulted for their demand or requirement or requisition for Peter Obi to be the presidential ticket holder. And I told them that if we go back, when Peter Obi held the violent space, I remember a question, I'm not quite sure who asked the question, but he was, I was expecting him to come about and talk about how he was a wonderful governor in Anambra State, all the great things he did, how he, did wonderful things in school, in the education sector and all that. But he didn't. I remember the first thing he led with was that it is time for the Southern presidents, presidential candidates, to rule Nigeria in 2027. He was so emphatic on that. He said it was an agreement that is sacrosanct, even if it's not constitutional, even if it's not being coded or codified in the Constitution, but it's sacrosanct. It's an agreement that has been long-standing, the zoning formula. And after that Twitter space, I went back and I looked, and this is one thing I surprisingly found, that El-Rufai, while they were talking about the coalition a couple of weeks ago, El-Rufai had actually drawn a line in the sand. He had even put this South presidency as a precondition for the coalition. So it was like the news didn't even carry it. He had even actually made it a precondition. But now people were now upset with obedience for even saying Obi or nothing. Meanwhile, El-Rufai had already made that precondition while the coalition was coming together. And if you also go back, Rotimi Amechi, in his own words, didn't even mix words. It was so unequivocal when he stated that South must, he didn't use the word may or might or could or should, must be the presidential candidate in 2027. Rotimi Amechi, one of the principals of the coalition, Wike himself, a couple of weeks ago, during the national executive meeting of the PDP, specifically stated that the presidency must be zoned in PDP to the South. So if you look at the entire political universe in Nigeria, and they are all in accordance of zoning the presidency to the South, how in the world would any right-minded person be even thinking or conceptualizing of even going against the political universe? By the way, if you attempt to go against this political universe, the political ads will write themselves. The political ads will write themselves because Tinubu and APC will spin this narrative that PDP and the coalition of people or ex-PDP members and the coalition, they hate people from southern Nigeria, and that they will continue to humiliate, marginalize, disrespect people from southern Nigeria again and again and again. And you know what that means in a divided country like Nigeria, when you feel, and the presidency himself and the article, Tinubu himself with APC machinery will be spinning all kinds of lies about how the South has been marginalized and intimidated and disrespected and dishonored and all this rubbish. It wouldn't take long for you to even perceive how the South will react. And I'm not just talking about the Southeast, I'm talking about the Southwest and the South-South. So I made this case, was it last week, on some space, that any right sensible person should not even be thinking about zoning or not zoning the presidency to the South. Now, to summarize, you and I know that the problem we're having with Tinubu today is because Tinubu refused to talk to both the formal press and the informal press, or formal media and the informal media. He ducked, I dodged, he ran away, he refused to commit himself to anything. You ask him about the health policy, healthcare policy, he refused to say. Economic policy, he refused to say. Security, he refused to say. He keep talking about, oh, they want to copy my answers, they want to repeat. And now he has become president. And you expect to hold him down on any of the policies that he refused to talk about when he was running? We must be idiots to think that you have somebody who was running for office, he refused to talk to you, and then when you became president, you expect him to talk to you now that he's in office? Are you stupid? So we have a chance now to rethink this process. Peter Obi had talked to the formal media by going to Shehu. He has talked to Violence Space, he has come to Twitter Space and talked to everybody. He has shared his ideas in terms of the health policies, the educational policy, everything. If anybody think that they want to throw their heart into the ADC campaign, they should submit themselves to come and talk to Nigerians through the both formal media and the informal media. I'm talking about formal media, like they go to Shehu, or they has to come from informal media, they can come to Twitter Space. Because if you don't talk to us now that you're trying to seek our consent, win our votes, how will you be able to talk to us when you get into office? What will compel you to even have the intention or the temerity or whatever to even say, okay, let me talk to Nigerians? No, if you want to talk to, this is the time to talk to us. By the way, the world leaders, Trump, had to even come to Twitter when he was seeking election and talked to Americans. Ruto, when he was having problems with Kenyans, came to Twitter to talk to Kenyans. Peter Obi wanted to talk to Nigerians, has come to Twitter to talk to Nigerians. Why is it that our leaders keep running away from us and refuse to talk to us? Why is it that our leaders they feel that it's an insult, that is a disgrace for them to even have to answer questions from Nigerians? We must be idiots if we let this happen again. Anybody that wants to run for office should come to Twitter and talk to us, because we have a lot of questions to ask them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Senator. I agree. Already, APC is now hosting Twitter Space. I'm waiting for the day they'll bring their own candidate and their president. After all, Peter Obi comes to Twitter. He is our president. For those of us that believe and voted for him, he is humble enough to find time in his very busy schedule to talk to us. APC are now coming to Twitter after gaslighting us that we are four people tweeting in a room. I hope they will continue in that same vein to bring their own candidates as we go towards the elections to take questions from Nigerians online. Thank you very much. I think you touched on very key issues. Let me, Jack, I see you up. When you're ready, raise your hands. You join the conversation. Mr. Sonny Arukwe, Chief, please go ahead.
Thank you. It's very good to bring clarity to one or two things. I listened keenly to the Kakaki, analysis. It should be the popular and mainstream analysis floating to any reasonable discerning mind across the world, particularly in Nigeria. But here is a thing from me personally as a strategist when it comes to politics. To me, I view the ADC as nothing but a filter for Obi to actually understand who and who he should deal with in the North. Why did I say this? Most political analysis we make, we completely forget what has happened in the past. It is your behavior in the past that determine where your mindsets are going. In 2003, it was the turn of the South. One man called Atiku. What did he say to us? Oh, because Wike is running and he's from South, is not from Southeast, therefore I must run. And he did. Are we forgetting that? Yes. Again, 2007 is approaching. Who do we see again? The same man. He comes along. He has not even given the reason why he's contesting this time. It's still a turn of the South. Can't you see it that he doesn't have respect for anybody in the South? Be you who? He's a Fulani man that thinks Nigeria belongs to him. I have never seen any way Atiku condemn terrorism, herdsmen killing, and so on and so forth. That you can tie to. He thinks he's one of the people that thinks that Nigeria belongs to them. It's as simple as that. Yeah. See, and look at it again. Why did Obi and his people obedient went to appeal to him to form ADC? No. Atiku has lost all political relevance. What he has now is some of the money he stole that he intends to use to buy up Southern votes. But his political relevance is gone. We people that read this thing minute by minute can tell you that. He is the one that put together the ADC. But here is the problem. If you listen to Dati Baba Ahmed, he hit the nail at the head. But nobody took notice except those people who are very sensitive and keen about political analysis. What did Baba Ahmed say in his latest interview? He said, ADC as a coalition, it is a template taken from somewhere. That means someone has done that before. There are structural effects in both the first coalition and the non-coalition. And what are those structural effects? The structural effects are when they had a coalition, Tinubu had a coalition for Buhari, they already have in mind that it's Buhari that would go for presidency. It's already determined. So whoever is coming around is told, listen, we are going to just stage it, make it look like that this is the man that is going. And they played it and worked. Now, in this ADC coalition, they want to just quote it to bring in Atiku. That's why it's having problems. But like I said, it's a filter for Obi because he now knows who to deal with in the north. Listen, if you look at battleground states in Nigeria, if you have Kanu, if you have Kaduna, if you have Lagos, if you have Port Harcourt, I probably saw one or two other places. These are the battleground states. And look, Atuki does not have control over the battleground states. He could scratch up some votes from his own area. That's all there is to it. He knows it. Yeah. If Erufai and Kwankwanso, could do business with Obi, and there are millions and thousands of coalitions he can form. Atiku is dropped completely. Who is he? Yeah. And one other thing about obedience is, if you are going to fight, or let me put it this way, there was a man called Achilles. I've said this thing before. Achilles was such a warrior that nobody faces him, no matter who you are. It was in the battle of the Greek with Trojan War. But nobody knew the weak point of Achilles until somebody found out. And that's why where you derive the word Achilles, in your heels. His weak points were in his heels. Now, obedience should ask themselves, where all Tinubu is high and mountain, where are his weak points? It's in plain sight. We are looking at it. Tinubu has drivers. He has cooks. He has people who do things for him. He doesn't do anything. Go after those words. If he wakes up in the morning and say, oh, my driver is nowhere to be found, he will sit up. He will know that danger is very near. So what are you complaining? Nobody's asking you to go to Aso Rock and attack. That's not what you're saying. There are people who act for him. Go after them. It's very simple. So, my brother, like I said, the coalition ADC is a filter for Obi for now. The real coalition might come later. If they don't install him, I am strongly behind those obedience that say Obi or nothing. I don't care about Atiku. He doesn't respect agreements. He doesn't respect gentleman. He doesn't respect anything. You can see it in his attitude. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chief Arokwe. Thank you for your very enlightened contribution so far on the space. We appreciate your time with us today. For those that don't know, Chief Sonny Arokwe is an experienced politician. He led political parties in Nigeria for a while. Now lives in the US, but still very keen to what is happening in Nigeria. And he's been sharing a lot of experience with us so far since we started, and he's always joined our spaces. Appreciate him. And if you want to join the conversation on the coalition topic that we listen to on the Kakaki, you're welcome to do that. But I am also asking us to move towards how do we organize, mobilize the vast majority of Nigerians to have their say in 2027. Uh, uh, I see Mr. Jack, you're up here on the speaker section. I'll go to King Zanga because his hand is up. Jack, raise your hand when you're ready so I can call you. Then Uzoma is also here. Thank you for joining the space. Let's retweet the space and join the conversation. I greet everyone on the space. I see you all, and I see the anonymous members. We are growing in the anonymous About 37 of us are now listening secretly. I hope Tinubu is among them. Tinubu, do well for Nigeria and go home in 2027. I know you are here listening anonymously. Your Excellency, we don't tire. Give Peter Obi a chance. King Zanga, go ahead.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
I'm trying to cope, particularly with the news that they want to go into our accounts from January if we have 5 million and above. That APC want to collect our money. That one vests me well. But go ahead, King
Oh,
Zanga.
that
Let me not distract what you want to say.
you have money now, so why are you complaining?
I
It's
beg,
an
I don't have
opportunity to
money
hold
to
the
give
leaders
a
accountable.
Tinubu and APC. I don't have money for them.
Oh, exactly. I mean that paying taxes is section 24 of our constitution. Made that very clear. It's part of citizen duty. But by the way, well, I see your topic. Why I came up. Peter Obi is running for president. Of course, that's been established. Organizing and mobilizing. I know that what you do. That's what you do best. So I want to really appreciate you. You're back again, and like I said, we can't give up. We'll keep pushing until we get what we want. But today, I want to have a different perspective and a different approach to this conversation based on your topic. Well, the first, if you know you are obedient, I want you to really give yourself some credit for what you've been able to achieve as both as an individual and as a collective, as a member of the group. Throughout history, for the folks who are in the United States, you're familiar with the 3.5% rule, right? I don't know, Steve, if you're familiar with 3.5%. I think they teach this at the masters and also the PhD level, where you're talking about the behavior design and also social mobilization. The 3.5% rule, I say indirectly, the obedient movements and all the organizers and every participant in that ideology, or those who subscribe to that ideology, one way or the other, have been able to, deliver that within 9 months. What I'm saying is that 3.5% rule throughout history, whether in politics or in business, it is very important. It means that you only need one in three people to create a monumental change throughout history. The movement does not need to convince the entire Nigerian, the people, the Nigerian people, in order to win the presidency. With the right discipline, with the right persistence and commitment from the people, we can rewrite history and we can effect the change that we seek. Take the civil rights movement, for example, what they were able to achieve. In 1963, over uh, just barely above 250,000 people marched on Washington. And that represented less than 0.2% of the US population at that time. And go back and check what they were able to accomplish. While we are here today, our strength obviously lies in our ability to organize in peaceful manner, okay, sustain ourselves, keep going against all odds, and just within a very short period of time, we change the political landscape of Nigeria forever. That's something. You should be proud of that. You should be proud of that. How did we manage to do this? Everybody was part of it. The students were part of it. Those who were printing flyers, those who were doing jingles, those who were organizing in the marketplaces. We have specific people, even within the churches, the mosques, who were talking about the obedience. That's exactly what happened in the US. That is exactly what the organizers of the civil rights movements were able to accomplish. And I now going into 2027, what will win us, what we guarantee our place in this whole negotiation. Of course, like I said, personally, I think my own group are focused in the north, specifically the northwest and the north central. For Tinubu, if the northwest came out and declared that their support is for PO, that changed the political calculus, even for AA. But we cannot do that when we are seen to be too confrontational. No, you can be confrontational based on what you believe. This is not me saying that you should, turn down the heat, okay? But what I'm saying is very simple. What I'm saying is very simple. We will only win this by organizing quietly and with the right strategy and discipline. It's very important. Because don't forget that the one who shouts the most is not the one with the right power, or is not the one who calls the shot, but the one who is quiet and confident, all right, is the one who really, during chaos, the calmest mind think clearly. This is the time for us to think clearly, to recognize where we hold the strategy and leverage those strategies and the keys that we hold is very key. Because now I, I cannot really, in all honesty, say that power should return to the north. No, I mean, some people are saying the with the need to offset the deficit or whatever that is remaining, they have an outstanding. But this is 2025, and we saw Buhari 8 years uninterrupted, to just stretch like that, which obviously those years were actually wasted years because we didn't grow the economy, we did not stabilize the country, there was no social cohesion. Every indices that we needed to guarantee our place, even in the sub region, were totally broken down, and we couldn't obviously take our place for 8 good years. And now Tinubu has completed a decade when APC came on board. And for that 10 years, we still cannot grow our GDP to have $1 billion. The same we saw what the Egyptians were able to accomplish within the same period. How many industries they were able to, establish. We are on the same continent. We saw what's happening in Morocco and other places. So now, for us, I think leadership is very key. That's why we seek power. That's why we want power. That's why we want to seize the power. However, the coalition want to go about, and I think what we need to do now, like I said last time, Stephen, whatever leverage you hold in across south, north, east, and west, you need to start applying those leverages. Start organizing. The ADC is a vehicle. Everybody is jumping into that vehicle now. This is not the time to hold back. Yes, we want PO to fly that flag. I understand that the balance of interest is something that you really need to really negotiate. It's not something that there are no easy answers. The article camp will tell you, we're going to spend money now. We are going to mobilize now. The idea is from us now. We also have our own interests now. Yes, of course, they do. But that's we are not interested in that. We are interested in making sure that it is the person that can win so that we don't waste our resources, we don't waste our time, and give this current APC government to capitulate on whatever cracks that exist. So this is why I said negotiation is very key, and PO hold a lot of leverage within that coalition. It's not coming to that coalition empty-handed. It's coming to that coalition with a force. So that force is what we need now to apply so that we can balance whatever interest that currently exist and swing that to our favor. Because ultimately, if PO does not get that ticket, he's going to run under LP. That will be a plan B. If the LP question has not been resolved, has not been solved, because it is established that Abure and others have hijacked the leadership of LP at a price for the current government. So that's, to me, that's a risk, except we want to take it. But for this coalition, we can say, it is gaining momentum. The guys in the north, if you see the way these guys are organized, everybody is tapping into the grievances that currently exist. Everybody, as I'm telling you, everybody. So I want to see the same momentum in the south. If we can do it under 9 months, we can do this certainly under 14 months, right? We can do it under 14 months. So this is the time for us to also scheme. This is the time for us to also plot. Because Stephen, no matter how you are close to Peter Obi, if he gets into a room, you are not going to be clapping. You are going to also be plotting. You are also going to be scheming. Because when a king gets into a room, nobody claps. You will scheme. You will plot. So start plotting. Start scheming. Whatever you need to do, okay, to win this ticket, we'll have to do it. And together, I think we can do it. We now need to start organize. See, nobody organized like the obedience. So that leverage, that power that we hold, we need to now start to employ it. Going into that coalition. I know some of us, you're talking about those who are sitting on the fence who have not registered before. If you know you don't belong to any political party, going into the coalition. If you know you are a member of any political party that you're no longer comfortable with what's going on there, go and resign officially and join the coalition. This is how to get in, because it is those that get in there that will shape. You are scared of Atiku using dollar to influence. Imagine if the delegate that we vote, there are 100 people, and 60 or 65 are loyalists to the obedience and the ideology of a good Nigeria, a better Nigeria. Atiku will find it very difficult to use dollar to buy anybody. This is why I said, until you take a seat at the table where decisions are being made, there's little to what you can really influence, because it's not just being present in the room. You have to take a seat at that table where they are discussing, where they are doing all these things. Me, I am not scared to go into that coalition at all. And I believe that the leverage that we hold across the country, in the middle belt, you say the Northwest guys coming on board, in the South, in the Southeast, forget all this defection that is going. Presidential election, there's a whole lot of uncertainties. We have to talk to people. Oga, where you need to plead, please, I beg, make una support us. Where you need to organize, get small money to influence outcome, please do it. Where you need to let whatever tool you get, I beg, we need to use it. This is not the time to speak in absolutes. I think God beg all of us. Because should the coalition, the party, say they want to do any primaries or whatever selection process they want to adopt, we need to be operating from the position of strength, not the position of fear or weakness. This is why I said, whatever numbers we have, please let us leverage it. Whatever resource we have, please let us employ it. Let us leverage it. I am not going to threaten a critical camp. I will go there. They say if you want to collect something from small pikin, you go they beat your stomach. As they beat your stomach, na sense you go take collect that thing from small pikin hand. And so they do am. Because this coalition where you see politics is more deeper than you think. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of unknowns. But what our interests represent now is that the power should go to the south. I am saying it publicly. Even Atiku people know, Obi people know, everybody know. So you must not be scared of your own position. You must make it know and back it up with substance as well. Back it up with strategy. That is what we need, so that when the time comes for the final call, we will be able to make that call in confidence. That is not the time we'll now stay. Now that time we'll come begin to organize. Now that time now we'll begin to do. No, everybody now don't they organize their camp. We also need to organize our own camp. Okay, this is what I just want to say, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, King Zanga. These are some of the things you had chatted me up. I appreciate you laying it out, how the strategy has to go. I think it's a very delicate balance. How we manage this coalition interests, particularly for those of us that are on the side of Peter Obi and all that, with different interests. I think it's going to tell how this coalition will succeed. Um, there's an interview from Babache Lawal, former secretary to the Federal Federation. He is part of those who negotiated this coalition, and I feel that it will benefit us to hear from Babache Lawal. So I'm going to play that interview before we go to the hands. I see Colade and others. Please request the mic if you want to join and retweet the space. The topic has been modified to reflect the majority view on this space. Peter Obi is the front runner and best to lead ADC coalition. This is the PO Town Square space, so we are kind of partial here towards Peter Obi. We don't apologize for that. So we would like to hear from Babache Lawal, who just granted an interview on Arise. Then we'll take comments and reactions. Please listen keenly. He will share very vital information as well. Let me see. I will need someone to help me here because I need to step away. Gospel is not used to spaces, so I don't know whether I can do it. Senator, are you able to help us just be on the podium so that we can bring in speaker after the interview? But let me hold off on that. Let me start the interview while we... Okay, Senator, I see that. Let me send you a co-host here. But I'm still here for now. But after the interview, I might have to step away a little bit. But you're about to hear Babache Lawal granting an interview on the coalition. Let's listen to what Babache Lawal has to say.
Well, we'll have more on that story a little bit later, but for now, we're joined by former SGF Babache Lawal on Newsday. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday, Mr. Lawal.
Oh, good afternoon, Cynthia.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your...
Good
afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to get the pronunciations right. We appreciate you and, of course, for your time here on Newsday. Now, let's talk about coalition viability. Opposition parties have tried, like we've seen, merging before and failed. What makes you believe a coalition can successfully challenge the rule?
Now has a scent that'll make you move effortlessly.
Oh, sorry, I have an ad running. Just let it run through before we go back to the interview. For those who are just joining us, you are listening to a replay of the Arise interview with Babache Lawal, the former secretary to the federal government of Nigeria. He's taking questions regarding the coalition. How did they come about it? Because there are questions around who we get the ticket, and it's been going on spaces for a while, and not just Twitter, everywhere. And I think he has answered some of the questions. So you're about to listen to that interview. The voice you're hearing is that of the former SG of the federal government, Babache Lawal, on Arise.
I know about it. The coalition we formed was APC, and it won the election with a landslide.
Okay, we'll take that then. What about leadership legitimacy? When it comes to, for instance, questions raised about internal democracy, how do you address concerns that this coalition might lack transparent leadership selection?
Well, whoever says that has not taken into cognizance the leadership of the team that negotiated this coalition, and have not read the constitution of ADC. before we went into this merger, this coalition, we set up two committees, one political and one legal. The legal committee was headed by an eminent lawyer, a son, Barrister Malami, Bakar Malami, the former Attorney General of the Federation. In that committee was also eminent lawyers like Emeka Nwajoba, lawyers of many years, of many repute. And in that committee also was Senator Lele Moke, a former governor, former minister, and an eminent lawyer in his own right. On the political committee, we had heading it was His Excellency, the former chairman of the APC itself, Mr. John Oyegu, who had run a political party in the past, who was the forming part of the forming structure of the APC. On that committee also, Lele Moki served. And quite a lot of other eminent Nigerians with experience in political party formation, registration, or coalition. So both committees did an extensive due diligence on all the registered political parties in Nigeria and shortlisted which ones we could pursue further for the coalition. And obviously, at the end, the ADC came out at the top because their constitution had provisions that made that possible. The leadership had the inclination that they are willing to sacrifice everything for the good of the country. And most of their standing legal issues were resolved in an alternative dispute resolution methodology. So we know what we're going into. We believed in what we're going into. And any other person that comes around to say that the process was flawed probably didn't read the ADC constitution very well. I advise they go back and read it to stop embarrassing themselves. Of course, given the type of leadership in the coalition, we're also aware that this government will try to sabotage it in the manner they have done others in the past and in the manner they are doing others. So we are not unaware that this will happen, that some charlatans will be rented to go to court and try to sabotage the process and make some money out of it.
All right, Mr.
All
Lawal.
well and good. I thank them for it.
Mr. Lawal, you mentioned earlier how the coalition came together to form the APC. But you'd recall that the APC was an entirely new party. I'm wondering why your coalition or this new coalition decided to adopt an already existing party, the ADC. What formed the reason behind that? And also, do you think that this new lawsuit that has been filed by 3 ADC members, do you think that it poses a challenge or threatens the unity of the coalition in any way?
At Vistaprint, we print signs so people can see your brand up close, but we also print signs so that people can see your business.
For some reason, ads are playing, but I'll forward the ad.
Omobolale, let me tell you, society is very dynamic. I was part of those, I was active in the formation of APC. I was a member of the merger committee, and the time was different. We're operating at a time when the government in power was composed of reasonable people who attempted as much as they could in the environment, practice democracy. So they allowed the merger to go on successfully. Yes, at one time they tried to infiltrate it, but it was not successful. So the APC was formed from parties, I agree with you. Now, as the country progressed politically, we began to get leaders that are undemocratic. We began to get leaders that have as a hobby the practice of sabotaging opposition political parties. This was not in place in 2004, 2005. Now we have parties that have been scattered. We are aware that the Labour Party has been purchased by the government. PDP has been purchased by the government and has scattered it to our own great advantage, I must say. Now, in the times we operate, we have a government that we believe might not allow the registration of new political parties. If they are sabotaging existing ones, how will they now go and allow the registration of new ones with the type of caliber of people that are trying to register a new political party? This is the fact. This is the time we live in. This is the climate we live in. So we had two options. Register a new political party. We had a committee too that was looking into that, or getting into an existing political party. We weighed the pros and cons. We weighed the possibility of success of either. And we decided that the wisdom to enter an existing political party poses less risk than registering a new one. Because we are aware that there are some groups that have submitted their application for more than 2 years now, and all they got is an acknowledgement letter from INEC. So on our own part, we don't have the time to wait for until after the election before we have a certificate of registration. This government will not allow it. We don't deceive ourselves. Don't deceive yourself through Omobonale. This party will not allow the type of people you are showing on your TV now to register a new political party. So we decided that the best way is to enter an existing one that can accommodate us, that has the first provisions in their constitution to make this possible. So that's what we did. Look at the people in this party. They are not idiots. They are intelligent Nigerians with long history of political activism. So we know what we are doing. And we chose this as a preferred method than to register a new one.
All right, we'd like to thank you for the clarification you provided on the issues concerning the new coalition and the ADC party, Mr. Babachir Lawal, former secretary to the government of the Federation.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the space. You are joining Peter Obi Town Square space, and we're discussing the coalition issues. And you just listened to Arise News interview that aired about an hour ago. Babachir Lawal, who was part of those who had negotiated the coalition, explaining why they chose the ADC instead of registering a new party. And he mentioned that the record of coalitions so far in Nigerian politics is a success rate. That the last coalition he was part of was that of the APC, and they won by a landslide. He believes that this new coalition will also win. And the reason why they've chosen the ADC, he has explained. So we'll just go to those that are requesting the mic and the speaker session now to react to it. And Senator Goswill, I'll yield to you here.
Okay, thank you very much. Great interview on the TV. Can you hear me?
Yes, there's an echo, but we can hear you. There's an echo, though.
Okay. So it was a great interview. But without any waste of time, I'm going to go to Caller Day. After Caller Day, we go to Okoronkwo. But yeah, let's go. Caller Day, your mic is yours.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, my people. God bless you, Oga Steve. And God bless you too, my brother, Mr. Goswell. Jack, I see you. I see everyone. I greet everyone, my brothers, my sisters. I greet everyone out there, King Zanga. I see you. Okay, going to the topic. For me, sincerely speaking, it's a two-edged sword. Mm. And like people rightly said, okay, there are some things beyond our own control or some things that are above our own pay grade. So some things that are left for, in quotes, those who are in the discussion table, those who are seated at the discussion table to figure out themselves. But we as foot soldiers, again, I will repeat, we have our own role to play. And for me as a person, our role at times might be to make noise. That might be what some of us know how to do, or what some of us are empowered to do, or what some of us capacity can do. I will beg you in the name of God, make your noise. The only thing you should not do or you should be mindful for is do not do not use unwarranted words. Okay, be civil. Be civil at doing whatever you want to do, but speak your facts. If your fact is PO or nothing, say it with your full chest. Okay, nobody owes anybody to that. Whoever is reading any negative meaning or connotation to that, that is their own cup of tea. Because PO nothing does not mean that you are saying that it's either if you don't give us PO, everything will scatter. Ooh, think like that. PO or nothing is just you saying that, you know what, give me PO, that is all I want. And there's no big deal in saying something like that. So please, if that is what you can say it. What we need to understand is at times pressure is needed for leaders to do the right thing. At times. And I want to now take you back to a couple of days. Everything was like, oh, labalu, the noise, the everything. Good. Those were some people were busy parading and throwing jabs of deputy, what's they called, vice. You get it? They should come and take vice, like they are dashing our own organ to come and take vice. You know, it is what they're giving me mistake. So people were throwing such jab. But when the table turned, the same people are now the one crying that, oh, and you are being too harsh, you are being too this, you want to chase one away, you want to do that. And I keep laughing. Nobody is chasing anybody away. It is politics we are all playing. Let us play our politics. Abi? Let us play our politics. Before now, all the politicians know that a group of people are called the mob. You get it? Being called the mob, it's not by mouth only. It is not by, that means those group of people are who they are. They are loyal to their principle. You can't take that away. But this group of people, everybody knows you need them to win in quote your election. You need them to win your election. And I want to remind people, I raised this afternoon, it just dawned on me. Did anybody remember 2015? What the slogan was? Say Baba, say Baba, say Baba. Do you know that say Baba can be interpreted in different ways to different things? Do you know that if we have any Hausa here, they can let us know? Say Baba can mean Buhari only, can mean only Baba, like Baba is final, can mean a whole lot of things. But that was the slogan. And everybody, nobody complained about it to now read meaning to it, to come and say, you get it. So please don't let anybody gaslight you. Okay? We are rooting for our own principle, and there is no crime in that. Root for him with your full chest, please. When they reach their table, they will talk. The words they will say is, this is your follower. This pressure they are bringing is too much. Go and talk to them. That's the words they will say. And those who think they can twist it, at the end of the day, it is what the Alga says. If the Alga says this is the direction they are going, they have no choice. They are going that direction. And I also want us to know some things that are beyond us. Go and join ADC. Please go and join ADC. I'm a member of ADC. But with the way things are standing right now, okay, we are the disadvantage obedience. You know why? Because we are not core politicians. We have so many of us who do not even have the time to join any political party. So with the way it is right now, the so-called big politician, X this, X that, the old order, they are already hijacking the structure per states. So joining is good. Joining, yeah, would push us a bit further. But strategically, that might not be the silver bullet for us. The silver bullet might just be, quote, this mad pressure, this mad, crazy online pressure for us, because we have few politicians among us. Okay, so if they are sharing, fine, in Southeast, confirm we can get it, but some other key places. I use my own state, for example. I went to go to my own state where I know that I can influence people very well. I met the chairman, I met the woman lady, I spoke to them. But One big politician, no name, has already hijacked the states. I got it. They were just telling me, it is Aregbe. You get it. Aregbe is their new organ. Meanwhile, Aregbe has not come to the state ever since the declaration. Hope you get what I'm saying. So right now, and you have to listen to your guy, whoever is your state organ, information trickles down the that's the way party structure is. So you won't just come from one word and say you want to go and no. It doesn't work. So that's why I said we are at a disadvantage. No biggie, no problem. But one thing I'm certain of, and one thing that should keep us going, is the fact that Theo has made it very clear. He is in the race in 2027. So any way it goes, any corner, any way, anyhow, it will be on the ballot for 2027. So that should be our own consoling word that we should hold on to that. You know what? Let us just keep preparing. We will join ADC. If ADC do anyhow, they will see anyhow. But as it stands today, let it be known. You can let that pressure look, crank it up. If you do something and your opposition are crying, I will advise you to just crank that thing up. Because you know what it means? There are areas they don't want you to talk about. There are things they don't want you to talk about. Those are the things we want to start talking about right now. What concessions are, in quote, our leaders making? Obedience, you know what our Gav made? He has said, fine, VP. He has said he's going to do 4 years. He's willing to do 4 years, not because he's not constitutionally allowed to do 8 years. That's concession. You get it? Let us begin to ask others, what concession are they willing to make? What? And the southern, the south, north, whatever, it is real. It needs to be obeyed. So they listen, and I'm sure that they will do the right thing. So please don't leave their neck, care less about what people say, as long as don't be vulgar, don't abuse people. You can say things politely. And I will say it again in case they are listening. 2027 election between the presidential election will be PO or nothing. So let me begin to say my own now. That 2027 election, that between what's it called? It will be between PO, Tinubu, and others. But that election will be PO or nothing. So whatever meaning anybody wants to read, they should begin to read it. Our northern brothers, our brothers and sisters, so it has nothing to do with them. The same way we shouted, say Baba, we will shout, in quote, our own principal slogan. This has nothing to do with our principal. He's there, he should be doing his own negotiation. Let us do what we know how to do best. Press their neck. Let that neck break. Don't let anybody collect mobilization and come and start doing rubbish online. Press all their neck. Break those neck. We will still come back to the table because they also need to win. That's what some people. So if they need us, we need them. Everybody needs each other. So there's nobody should come and boo the next person here. So that's it, and that's facts. Thank you so much, my brother. God bless you. I greet everyone once again.
Yeah, thank you, Kolade. That was a great, great information you're sharing. I mean, the thing is, this is not rocket science. The only two people that have been tested in on a nationwide scale is Peter Obi and Atiku, and any other individual trying to jump into this race is not acceptable because you can't run something that has not been pre-tested. But then coming to between PO and Atiku, when you know that only one person comes from the south, and the whole political universe in Nigeria is telling you that we should zone the presidency to the south. PDP is saying that, APC is saying that by their selection of the current president, and ADC is also saying that. So if you are looking to line yourself up with the direction of the political universe, there is no gainsaying to state that it has to be zoned to the south. And the only one person that actually encapsulates the benchmarks that we've set and the title represents is that Peter Obi is the front runner and best to lead the ADC coalition. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and bring up Okoronkwo. Okoronkwo, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Steve, and good evening, everybody on the space, and good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are spacing from, and wonderful submission from my brother Kolade. You see, what I want to let all of us on this space know is that the core people forming this coalition are people of experience. We were tested, we were test-run in 2023 by the PDP form. And that was when PO was in PDP and declared his intention to run for presidency. They established and the obedience movement made on PDP was rebuffed because they felt PO has no structure. They were deceived by whatever structure they feel they control. And PO did something deliberate and intentional and moved his movement into Labour Party, a party that was just existing on the paper. And within 8 months, we were able to build that party to a national party, went into election with that party, won the election. Not only winning the presidency, we won House of Representative seats, we won state assembly seats, we won a state government seat, and despite we won several states, but because of manipulation, to get one. Now, coming to this coalition, I believe that the core people coming from the PDP, including our Baba Atiku Abubakar, are people of experience. And they knew that the problem that the PDP had today was, and that is simply to have fielded Peter Obi, and it could have been a walkover. Now, we have accepted through Peter Obi to be part of the coalition. So I don't think Baba Atiku will make a mistake the second time. I will appeal to all those who have his ears to please approach him, let him know that he will be the greatest hero this country will produce if he could just bury his political ego and give support to P2B so that P2B can lead this coalition. We know that he is a man of proven track record in terms of political sagacity. We know that he has made tremendous contribution and has fought for democracy. But I think he will do the whole Nigerians a lot more good if he could accept to collapse his structure and back P2B in this struggle so that we can redeem this country, so that we can have a country we can bequeath to our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, so that his name will be engraved in the annals of history of this country as that one single man, out of the love he had for Nigeria and Nigerians, he was able to sacrifice his ambition to become the president of this country and was able to bequeath to this country a man with character, competence, and capacity to fix what has been destroyed. And for my fellow obedience, I but I had to travel down to East to meet with my members of my ward And in principle, I've told them that we are going into ADC. And I want every other person on this call to please do the same, just like Kolade has done. Let us not bother ourselves about what the old PDP structures are doing, because they're all entering into ADC. And of course, they know that coming into coalition with people from the obedient family would definitely change the trajectory. It can no longer be the old order, the way things are being run in the PDP. We all must have to sit down and make the next person. If in the numbers, we the obedience, we have the numbers. We simply have the numbers to go into this election. If we could go into the election in 2023 when they said we don't have any structure, and they were able to accept that we made up to 6 point something million votes. They were able to accept that we won in one state. We have a state governor. They were able to accept that we had about 30-something senators, many House of Representatives, House of Assembly members. When they say we do not have a structure, then talk more of now that we already have an established structure. In every polling unit, at least obedience have presence. Then I do not have any fear that if we go on this election and there's loyalists to Peter Obi, that will not win. But the more the merrier. The more the merrier. And that is why mine is coming from an appealing side. Let our brothers in the PDP, let our brothers that are loyal to Atiku, please help us to appeal to Baba Atiku to see reasons why Nigerians should be saved of these pains. Nigerians cannot afford to go through this for the next 6 years.
I think, Okoronkwo, I think you're
7
having your internet is having some problems.
Can I go ahead, Steve?
Yeah, I think you broke up a little bit, just for a few
Anyway, let
seconds.
me
But
round
just go
off
ahead.
so
Go
that
ahead.
I can
Yeah, go ahead and round up.
yield the mic.
1 minute. 1
Yeah,
minute.
yield the mic for other. Yeah, obedience and distinguished well-meaning Nigerians that are participating in this call this evening. We all should brace up, and we all should be intentional about this election, that we want P2B. And this coalition have only 3 options. Number 1, P2B. Number 2, P2B. Number 3, P2B. That is the only options that can deliver these tickets. I yield the mic. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, the thing is this. Where Peter Obi is the front runner, is the best candidate, but all the audience in elections, you care about the top of the ticket, but you also care about down ballot candidates. I'm talking about the candidates that are going to be running for the Congress, for the House of Assembly, for the Senate, for the government house, for the governors, gubernatorial elections. So all these are down ballot candidates, and we know we've seen from 2023 that even Okada Man, who is a down ballot candidate, was able to win an election under PDP just because of the P2B's influence. So this is more like a signal that we're sending to every political aspirant that is looking to run for all those PDP political aspirants, all those APC political aspirants, all those LP political aspirants that are looking to run for in the 2027 election. They should all come with their structures into ADC, and they should all support Peter Obi because he has demonstrated his capacity to carry down ballot candidates across the finish line. He did it in 2023. He can do it in 2027 single handedly. Single handedly. So if I was supposed to run for election in 2027, let's say I'm in APC, I wouldn't be comfortable being in APC to run for election. I want to bring my structures to ADC. And I'm going to come in there supporting Peter Obi because I know once I bring those structures, those my small structure from APC, bring it into ADC, fully supporting Peter Obi and pushing for him to become the flag bearer, everything else is going to be easy from there because his influence, his ability, his capacity will flow down and make it easy for down ballot candidates to win election. So yeah, just say that. So whoever is out there in ADC that is looking to run should support P2B because the chances of winning becomes much more better with the P2B presidential ticket. Jungle, go ahead and the mic is yours.
I actually should be the one to go.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
God.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Hello, I've been
Good
here
evening.
before this jungle team. Can I just say something before because of the time differences, please?
Maxi, I was actually here when the space started. I'm sure I came here before you. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, but because of the time difference, it's late
Okay,
already.
Go
I'm just
ahead.
gonna take one or
Maxi,
two things.
just you're going to go next, okay? You're going to go
All
next.
right,
I
thank
know
you so much.
the time
All right,
difference.
thank you so much.
Sometimes we stay awake till 2 o'clock in the morning because of
Yeah,
this
all right,
thing. Okay.
all right,
Okay.
thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. So, evening, everybody. So mine is very simple. So, I don't know. I don't think that the question of who is the best candidate, at this instance, I don't think he even exists because there's no question about that. Everybody knows this very clearly. Surprisingly, even the people you guys think that they don't know, they are 100% aware. But one of the things I need you guys to know is that you must understand that there are influencers that are currently running gigs for APC, and they are trying to create the impression that they want Atiku to pick the ticket. They are doing that on purpose because they know that that is the only way to kill the energy in the polity at the moment. And the funny thing is that these conversations are not even happening in the rooms where decisions are being made. At least you guys heard it directly from Peter Obi a few days ago, 2 days ago, when he said, was it yesterday or day before yesterday on the interview, when he said that nobody has even told him about anything vice president. And if not you, like, do you think anybody will have the guts to tell Peter Obi to come and deputize them? It doesn't matter who the person is, because the question should be on what basis, like, what is the rationale behind the thinking? Because if you want to, if you want to go by competence, he's clearly more competent. You want to talk about riches, he clearly richer. A lot of Nigerians don't know how rich Peter Obi is. If you know half of his business, you know that Atiku is nowhere near him in terms of real money, liquidity. But it's just that, we are in a country where people celebrate, noisemakers. And if Peter Obi was going to be, if Peter Obi is not a politician, you probably see him hanging around, he's in the class of Aliko Dangote and the likes. He's extremely rich businessman. Nigerians don't know this, but I'm just putting it on record so that people know. Now, so if you talk about money, he has money. And then if you talk about, if you want to discuss zoning, it favors him. If you want to discuss about, support base, he clearly has the best support base in the country at the moment. Everybody wants to be in the good books of obedience. So on what basis are we discussing, any other person if the coalition is actually serious about anything meaningful? But that's by the way. I like the idea of obedience going into ADC. I mean, a lot of obedience have been actually currently doing that. I know a lot, especially those that have political ambition, and it's a good thing, right? That we have our members, especially at the local level, the grassroots level, please join, ADC, be a member of the party. One thing I can tell you is that the coalition will work. This, I am almost 80% sure it will work. And it will work, and Peter Obi will be the candidate. I say this, from the things I know. I'm not assuming. And again, I'm also saying this on record. You can go and look at not just predictions, but some of the things I've said in the past concerning the coalition and even the ticket. I was the one that broke the record that Peter Obi was going to even declare to contest for presidency. So I'm not telling you roadside gist. Peter Obi will pick the ticket at the right time. But for now, as far as I'm concerned, right now, the immediate project of obedience is actually to win an Anambra election. The immediate project of obedient movement is actually to celebrate Peter Obi on the 19th of July. I don't know why we're not talking about that. There's a birthday rally being planned across the state in the country. That should be the conversation. That should be how many of you are supporting it in your different states. How many of you, what are the activities you're planning, the act of services that are being planned across board, going to hospitals, going to prisons, and all of those things that are currently being planned across all the states. Are you involved? This should be what should concern you at the moment. Leave politicians to politic. Even if the primary is delegate election, I can guarantee you that I am 80% sure that Peter Obi will pick the ticket. So sometimes some of you think, primary elections is about just sharing money. If it was about money, Wike shared more money than Atiku in the last presidential election in PDP, but he still lost. The reality is that the powers that be, are the key players in the coalition has already zeroed down that Peter will pick the ticket. So it doesn't matter. Any other person that is just doing gra-gra, at the end of the day, the people that even initiated the coalition in the first place, they know what is right for Nigeria. They know the person that one of the things that is working in favor of the coalition or the merger this time around is that in 2014, unfortunately, Buhari was, of course, the most popular candidate at the time. Based on his last record. The only mistake they made was that, yes, Buhari was popular, but he was clearly incompetent, and most of them knew that he was incompetent. But they still chose him because he was the only person that could give them the vote they needed to win the election, right? But in this case, here you have a candidate that is not just popular in Nigeria, but across the world, across the globe. But most importantly, has what it takes to motivate Nigerians to fight, because 2027 is not going to be about political class. For me, it's going to be Nigerians versus politicians. And so what will happen typically is there will be a fight between the masses and the politicians. I predict that 2027 election is going to be very bloody. I know why I'm saying that. It's not that, but it's just the truth. It will happen. And the reason is because it's going to be a serious fight between the political class and the Nigerian people. And the only person that can motivate an average Nigerian to go out and fight for a country they believe in is Peter Obi. So there is no coalition without him picking the ticket. It's just as if you're wasting everybody's time. And they know behind the scene, people that are actually not leave all this, most of them you see, they are running gigs. If you don't know, no, I'm just telling you now. Most of the influencers you see, they are actually on gigs. They are paid to say what they are saying. So they tell you, anything, when you see things like all these things, they tell you, Atiku is the best candidate, is this, is that, all of those things, most of them are actually being paid to say all those things they are saying. And so don't listen to them. Remain focused. Let us get involved in the things around the Obedient Movement. The Obedient Movement is launching a brand new mobilization platform, which is going to be the best thing you have ever seen. I can guarantee you that when it's unveiled, you'll be wowed with these features have been built into it. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on the things that matter. Organize in your place, join ADC, register, be part of the political conversation. When it is time, One thing I can guarantee you guys is that Peter Obi is actually way smarter than people think he is, because he's always humble. People don't see some of the smart moves he makes. In 2023, that's the same way they are telling you, oh, he will be VP, he will be VP. Did he tell anybody before he even left APC? If the coalition, for any reasons, which is very unlikely, decide that we will not give him ticket, you can bet your life that P2B will not be VP to anybody. This I can guarantee you. So there's no need for anybody to be jittering. Let obedience focus and do what we are supposed to be doing. Let's celebrate the man, the icon, on the 19th. If it's birthday cake you want to cut, if it's cleaning of your place, your environment you want to do on the 19th, organize this with obedience. Let's make it grand. I yield the mic. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Great presentation. Before we go to Maximus, we have two breaking news. Actually, three breaking news. The first one, U.S. Okay, first of all, do Max. After I talk about the breaking news, we'll do Maximus and then we'll do P2B last one. But first, let me just talk about the breaking news. The first one is U.S. limits validity of Nigerian non-immigrant visas to 3 months, single entry. Do you know what that means? I remember back when I was in Nigeria and I had to first travel to the United States, I had to get a visa. My visa, the first time I went to the embassy, I got my visa was 2 years multiple entry. I repeat, 2 years multiple entry. That means that I can go in to the United States, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, with the same visa for the period of 2 years. When you have a policy statement like this from the United States that is limiting the validity of Nigerian non-immigrant visas to 3 months, single entry, that means that once you go in, it's done, one and done. That is a big slap, a big pointer, a big indicator that US is very dissatisfied with the leadership that we have right now in Nigeria. I don't know, I don't care what other people say in terms of him being an agent or whatever. But when you see countries begin to put punitive policies on another country, they are trying to signal to the citizens of that country that your leadership is fucked up. Pardon my French. And they can't, because they can't come out and come out and make policy statements and talk about, okay, hey, we don't like your president, we don't like your, leaders or whatever. The only way they do is to send a signal to the citizens to let them know that your leaders are full of shit. Second breaking news. The ADC has blamed Tinubu's administration for Nigeria's exclusion from a US Africa trade meeting, calling it proof of the country's declining global relevance under Tinubu's government. Now, just like I said before, when you begin to see this kind of punitive policies, disrespectful signals being sent by world economy, global economy like the United States, they're telling you citizens that it's time for you to rethink who you put into office, who you allow to be your leader. If you're stupid enough to keep letting idiots and imbeciles to lead you, we're going to treat you like a country of imbeciles. As long as you continue to allow idiots, fools, and people who cannot even articulate a single sentence, if you allow them to keep leading you, then we're going to keep treating you, the citizens, the entire country, as a country of imbeciles. And that is a lesson that we have to take to our so-called brothers in the APC camp and let them know, as long as we keep on this road, we're going to begin to see the whole world, the community of our economic community, global economic community, begin to turn and exert punitive measures because we've allowed stupidity to sit on the leadership of the country. Now, the third the third breaking news: 97 lawyers line up to defend African ADC. 97 lawyers line up to defend ADC. Mark Aribasola against Tinubu's fake lawsuit. So I was happy to see this because it goes to show that when you have different factions, different communities in a country begin to rise up and call out um, malicious criminal practices that you're trying to drive to intimidate opposition, then it shows that the country is now tilting towards a change of leadership. When you decide that you want to put an end to our constitutional democracy and you want to only run one party, a one party state, and you begin to see communities all across the country begin to rise up, then that for me is a good thing. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and bring in Maximus. Maximus, you got the mic. The mic is yours.
Good evening. How is everybody doing? Yeah, this is Maximus Decimus. His name is OmokTP, and I'm an ardent follower of Obi in particular. Besides the LP, I'm a strong obedient. I only have a few questions that is actually be bothering me, and I need some kind of enlightenment on this because I need to know where I stand regarding Obi and regarding 2027, and I need to know where, at least, what are we doing regarding this. My first question is this: regarding the coalition. I don't know in particular, or if anyone or someone out there knows the stand of Peter Obi regarding this coalition. Is it been there because it's been invited and it went there to check out what the coalition is all about, or he checked out the details of the coalition and he thought maybe something he could go into, and he wants to put in an effort for a coalition to unseat the current APC, which is a monster to the Nigerian citizens. And my second question is this: my fear actually is this: if the coalition wants Obi to be the presidential flag bearer or aspirant of 2027, why couldn't they just how will I put it, like break down their system, break down their format, break down structures to support Obi in LP, which is the Labour Party, instead of them of forming a coalition where they invited Obi? Why the coalition was already formed, settled, established, determined before Obi was invited there. My fear actually was they invited Obi there because they needed Obi. But my fear is, in the long run, there's a chance they might outlet or leave Obi out of the platform. And whereas they have gained what, how will I put it, like they've gained the support they wanted.
Okay, so
Those are my two fears.
so yeah, so good question, good question. The only thing we can deduce, we can extrapolate from the whole coalition thing is, first and foremost, Peter Obi has declared unequivocally that he is running for the president of Nigeria. Okay, and he
Okay.
has stated that that is a constant, just like acceleration due to gravity is a constant, is not changing. He's running for the president of Nigeria. He's running. He's not looking to run as a vice president of Nigeria. Okay. Now,
Okay.
you brought up a good point, and I'm going to address this real quick because it's been bothering me too. At the point where you are fighting this criminality that is ongoing in Nigeria, it is important, it is imperative that the coalition or opposition are not amorphous, are clear in whatever they are saying. The worst thing you can do is to waffle, is to dilly-dally in issues that are paramount to the citizens. Because at the end of the day, Nigerians are sick and tired of of changing positions of politicians. Politicians saying something today and changing tomorrow. Politicians going back and forth, and that is why we have to give credit to Peter Obi, because Nigerians have become so impatient with politicians saying one thing tomorrow and changing them out tomorrow. Oh, I didn't say it. Oh, I didn't mean to say it this way. Oh, Abuja could be and or Abuja 25% in Abuja or I mean politicians have been treating Nigerians like fools for so long that it is almost difficult to actually hold them to to what they say. So you see the criminality tactics of politicians, they refuse to be actually clear in their statements, in what they say to Nigerians, so that they cannot be held accountable. Because you can't hold them accountable for what they didn't say. So that is why most of them will refuse to actually make statements, emphatic statements. So that is why you have to give credit to Obi. When Obi came out and said emphatically, I am running for president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, not for vice president. I would challenge every other person running in the opposition to actually go on TV tonight or tomorrow, first thing tomorrow, and go and say on TV that they are running for the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because
Okay,
let's
all
know
right.
where they stand.
Sorry, thank you, comrades, to cut it short. Thank you, comrade, to cut it short. But right now, I only have one more question regarding this. All right, like now the LP says they gave Obi 24 hours to like quit the party or what. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't care. But the question is this: what if Obi quits the party and the coalition doesn't endorse Obi as the presidential candidate? Where do obedience stand? Where do the obedience?
Oh,
Where do they
okay,
stand?
so that's a good question. We are assuming that he will not get the presidential ticket from the ADC. That's what we're assuming. But let me tell you something. From what I read, and I've kind of been, while the whole space is going, I've been looking at, opinions and everything. There are indications that the coalition is leaning towards Obi. Actually, it's more like they are taking the cues, and I'm going to say this here. Um, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me finish. Hold on a second. Let me finish. There are indications from statements, both off and online, that the coalition is taking their cues from conversations that are going on right now, including Obi or nothing. Okay, so whatever you're saying about Obi or nothing, all the screaming and all the shouting and all the things that you've been saying are actually working. So let's double down on being vocal about what we want as Nigerians, because we Nigerians are sick and tired of the waffling of politicians being amorphous, of politicians being reluctant to be on record about what they are, what their intentions are, because they are politicians, and politicians hate to be held accountable for what they say. So when they refuse to say some, it's for us to begin to put the marker down on what we want. And they can now come and say their positions based on what we say. So the only thing I'm going to advise everybody is, first of all, go register at the ADC, register for the party, because for you to actually have a voice in how the decision is made in ADC, you have to be inside the party. You cannot be outside the party and be calling the shots on what happens inside. It's just like you, like I said before on the previous page, it's just like you being outside the house and telling them to turn down the AC or to turn on the TV. How the hell are you going to tell people to turn on the TV when you're not even in the house? So first and foremost, you get into the house, and then you get to be a part of the decision making process. But you have to keep screaming, Opitobi or nothing, because that is what is going to drive the narrative. And I'm going to bring in Peter Obi last born. Peter Obi last.
Godson, just a quick comment, and then I'm going to leave here because I'm very tired. I had a very long day. So the last person that asked the question, what if Obi leaves LP, and Obi is not leaving LP? Just get this at the back of your mind. We have an election to win in Anambra, November 8th. So Obi is not going to leave for LP for anybody. We cannot build a platform and abandon it for anybody. Just get that at the back of your mind. The coalition is for 2027, not today. Atiku as of today is still a member of PDP. Erufai as of today is still a member of ADC. Most of the people in the coalition are still members of their individual parties. Do you understand? Yes, some of them have directed their supporters to go ahead and join ADC and all of that. But please, PO is a member of Labour Party. In short, I dare them. They cannot even suspend him from the party. It's not possible. I yield the mic. They are just making noise. I just want to make that clear. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's that's a good point. Wike has they've broken the cordiality in our political universe by being in multiple parties at the same time, being in one party and influencing the activities of another party. So we've adopted. You can't be faulted for that anymore. I mean, we thought that 3 years ago we thought that that was an abomination, but obviously Wiki has been able to show that there are no abominations when it comes to politics. So you can be Peter Obi is an LP, and he can be participating, like he said in his interview. And I'm going to say this: if you're looking to eat dinner and you wake up in the morning, you can't say because you're going to eat dinner, you're going to skip big breakfast and lunch. You have to keep eating breakfast and lunch. If you're looking at ADC as dinner, that is 2027. You have to still eat your breakfast as an LP, eat your lunch as an LP before you get to dinner. So let's not put the cart before the horse. Okay, so sorry about that. Peter Obi last son, go ahead and say your mic is yours.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah. Firstly, I want to thank you to the hosts, Auguste, for actually doing this. You have been doing this, and my boss, Coswell, Rajak, and Uncle Kolade, and everybody on the speaker and listener sections. Firstly, before I ask my question, I want to ask Jack this question. I believe he's still here. Jack, please, why is Abure name still reflecting on the INL portal? Because I checked today, I saw his name there and the past escorts by court order. So before I give my submission and question, please can you help me answer that?
Okay, so
Can I answer that?
okay, so in answering that question, I'm going to be very honest there. The reality is that the last Supreme Court judgment actually created more confusion than providing clarity. And I think it was intentional. There was no if you look at that particular judgment very well and looked at the events that happened before that judgment, you will understand why there's a bit of how do I put it? There's no clarity as to what is what in that judgment. So the court, in everything it said, in summary, said that the issues in Labour Party is an internal issue and it has to be settled internally. Now, where there's a problem, I think where the main issue is the fact that Abure held the Nnewi Convention and it was not invalidated by any court is where the problem came in. So I think I want us to leave politics for politicians, and focus on our support for Peter Obi. Peter Obi is a politician. He also understands these things, and they are navigating it. So I'm aware of, behind the scene talks that are going on. They are very likely going to shake hands very soon, and the matters are going to be resolved. So let's leave Abure for now, and his people. For me, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, PO is a full-fledged member of Labour Party, and is going to kick off campaign for the Labour Party candidate in Anambra on Friday in Onitsha. Right? On Friday, there will be a grand opening of our campaign in Anambra. We have an election in Anambra to win. That preoccupies the brain of every obedient in Anambra as we speak. So we don't even care whether it's Abure or anything. What we know is that this is a Labour Party candidate, and because P2B is a Labour Party, we will deliver that person. So that is what is important. Let's leave politicians to politic. Yeah, focus on our obedient movement, and then when our leader gives direction, we move the way he said we should move. For now, he said he's a member of Labour Party. You understand? So forget about who is the chairman and who is
Jack,
not the
Jack,
chairman. Thank you.
Yeah,
Jack, that's a very
yeah.
the answer is very simple. Peter Obi first son. Or Abure is there because he's getting federal protection. That's the direct answer to your question, okay? Thank you.
Not necessarily. I think there is
It's very simple, Jack. Don't beat around the bush.
I think it's because
don't beat around
of the
bush,
land,
please.
the laws of our land. Yeah, I think it's actually the constitution of Labour Party that threw us into all this crisis at the first instance. But yeah, I don't have enough time to
Just
explain
leave it at
the
that. Just
dynamics.
leave it at
But
that, Jack. Leave it at
but
that. Thank you.
Jack, you know that. Let me just throw this point, Jack. You know that P2B himself has mentioned that the problem with every other opposition party is being caused by the ruling party. And
Just leave Jack. Jack does not understand the meaning of federal
one
protection.
of the
He
interview
doesn't
we
know.
just
Leave him.
listened to now, one of the interview just listened to now, the young man that is part of this coalition, that was part of the coalition of APC, I think is not. We've listened to two interviews, one from Kakaki, one from Arise. The one from Arise, the man said that the opposition parties has been bought by APC. He said it on national TV. We heard it here, except if you are just coming online now. Thank you.
All right.
So,
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Peter Lasso, just 1 minute. Okay, so it is anybody that thinks
I
that
think today have been
But the question your question I want to ask is, what are we doing?
Anambra talk,
What are we
that's
doing off ground besides the tweet?
okay. Okay, hold on.
you can talk.
Hold on. Let me say this real quick. Okay, anybody that does not think that that Aso is responsible for the confusion in both the Labour Party and the PDP is not reading the political mood in the country. I mean, you've had verifiable evidence from political gladiators and political bigwigs pointing, saying unequivocally on camera, on tape, that the confusion in both parties is due to the fact that the current administration wants a one-party state, and they are not missing words about it. And the reason to precipitate that one-party state is to demolish all the oppositions and port everybody into the APC. So all this, every other thing is just, word salad and icing on the cake and all that. So we just have to accept it for what it is and know that we're up against. So Maximus. Okay, so the next person is how do you pronounce your name? Uday VP. Is it Uday VP? Uday VP. Yeah, go ahead.
Please, anyone else can go ahead, please. Thank you. I'm actually eating.
Okay, yeah, you have a good meal. So if you wanna speak, just go ahead and raise your hand. Raise your hand. We have a whole lot of breaking news that is coming up. We see a situation where the US is actually going so hard on Nigeria. They have the situation where there's a breaking news on Power Facts. US slashes Nigerian tourist and business visas from 5 to 3 months. Cites reciprocity, which is crazy because You see,
Uh,
you think that's
sorry, it's my first time joining the space. I don't even know how it works, but is there any way, if I need to raise up my hand to just signify I need to say something?
who are you? Okay, who is this?
This is Maximus Decimals.
Okay, okay. So Maximus, I thought that you. Okay, so let's give you about 2 minutes, okay, to go ahead and make your remarks. 2 minutes, okay?
All right. Thank you so much. My main reason of following Peter Obi or being in the help, being an obedient is not to cause any chaos. But I'm a Twitter jagun jagun. My main purpose is to debut any negative or any false or any lies levied against Peter Obi. So right now, my main question is, how do we win this election of 2027? How? What do we need to do?
Okay, so what you can only do, like we have in organizations, okay? Organizations, you have the marketing department, you have the sales department, you have the accounting department, you have the operations, engineering department, and all that. Um, we
Sorry to cut you short. You know why I'm saying this? I'm in Sweden, and the
yeah,
level of our Nigerian political system here is very, very low. But I want to contribute to a betterment of Nigeria.
okay,
But here, the level of exposure, the level of advertisement, the level of one-on-one, what do you call it, reaching out to people is very, very low. But I just want to contribute. I want to be there when Nigeria is great again.
okay. So that's a good. Yeah,
Hence, I'm asking, like, is there anything I could do from my hand here, or people in diaspora they could put in the inputs they could put that could make this election free and fair,
absolutely,
won fairly,
absolutely,
and making it our reality, what we
absolutely.
dream about, a
Yeah,
better Nigeria, a good Nigeria is possible.
absolutely. There are so many of people like you, that are tired of they want to come back home.
Yes, definitely.
They want to be home for Christmas. We remember during Christmas when you go to the village and you stay for Christmas and
Mm,
you spend the new
yeah.
year with family and friends. You know, yeah, I mean you're in Sweden, but in the US, I remember, when you have people doing like high school reunion, and they get out their high school friends and they get together, or when it comes to what they call, they call it Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, everybody goes home. It doesn't matter what part of the country you are, whether you're in New York, you go home to your family and friends, you spend Thanksgiving together. For those of us immigrants here in the US, when we look at period of Thanksgiving, it's usually a period where generations of family come together. The kids go back to their father. I mean, the father, the mother, the grandfather, the grandparents,
Mm,
everybody come together. Everybody. So for most of you, for immigrants that don't have grandparents and great grandparents, living within the United States, we feel
mhm,
sort of left out in this wonderful culture of Thanksgiving in the United States, where you see everybody's. It's all about celebration of that, getting together, reunion of. So, but we know we have our own reunion that we grew up with back home in Nigeria, and that is during Christmas, during New Year, where we come and we go watch the masquerade, and the masquerade chases us all over the place, and we go eat from one family place to the other. I mean, these are fun times, and so we want to we don't want to give up one lifestyle for the other. We want to have both lifestyles, and the only way we can have both lifestyles is if Nigeria is secure and functional as a country. Okay, yes, we might want to live overseas, but we also want to be able to come back home without the fear of being kidnapped, of being killed by reckless law enforcement checkpoints. Look at the rate at which they kill people at checkpoints. Look at the rate at which bandits, stop vehicles and raid vehicles and raid communities and villages. Look at the way kidnappers are kidnapping left, right, and center. So there's no, yes, we want to enjoy the benefits of being home, eating those organic foods in the village, but we don't want to risk our lives. We don't want to die because we want to enjoy the benefits of living in Nigeria or coming home for vacations in Nigeria. We don't want to die. That is why we're fighting so hard, so that we can have a leadership that actually fixes the country, fix the insecurity, get people back to work, bring prosperity to Nigerians so that Nigerians wouldn't have a reason or an excuse to become kidnappers, to become bandits, or pay the law enforcement agencies very well, pay the police, pay the military very well, give them better benefits so that they don't take their frustration or their annoyance on citizens or innocent citizens, shooting them, extorting them, trying to take money away from them. Because that's the reason why you have law enforcement and the police taking their anger and trying to take it out on citizens. It's because of the frustration of not getting paid. Look at where they live. Look at the housing they give to them. Look at the salaries. Most of them can't even afford to send their kids to school. So that's why we're pushing for good governance in Nigeria, where everybody will experience the prosperity that God has bequeathed to Nigerians, but has been interrupted and usurped by criminal leaders that do not want the blessings of a country to filter down to the rest of the 200 million population in Nigeria. They want it just for themselves. And that is what pisses us off. So yes, there are a whole lot of people like you. And what we can do is that we have to begin to talk to our brothers and sisters back home, our family back home, get them to go register with the ADC, get them to talk to the people around where they stay, the communities, and get them to begin to tell people why their predicament is because of the criminal leadership that we have. That is the best thing you can do. When I wake up in the morning, I try to reach out to family and friends back home and say, okay, hey, which of you have registered? I've registered with the ADC because I have registered, and I show them my registration. I have registered. Have you registered? Go and register. I want to see everybody register. Okay, you've registered. I go to my WhatsApp groups. I send them, how many of you have registered? I keep letting them go register. And as I'm sending them that message, I'm also letting them know, P2B or nothing. P2P is going to make our lives better. P2P is going to bring sanity. It's going to bring prosperity. It's going to bring civility. It's going to bring productivity in our country. And I'm going to let them keep perpetuating that message down the chain, from my family to my WhatsApp groups to my social media. That is the best you can do from diaspora. And I encourage you, because most of us in diaspora, we can't be on the ground right now fighting for this, but we can do so much more with our
Definitely.
voices and our platform. Okay, thank you.
Definitely. All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So Peter B. Lastborn, after Peter B. Lastborn, we're going to go to Teal. Peter B. Lastborn, go ahead.
To like pick the party or what. Yeah. But the question is this: what if Obi quits the party and the coalition doesn't endorse Obi as the presidential candidate? Where do obedience stand?
Hello.
Where do the obedience?
Okay, Maximus. I'm going to say this. I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to pass the mic to this other guy. I know that you live far, on the other side of the world, but I'm going to appeal to you to kind of give me a chance to bring in one or two other speakers, and then I'm going to go back and address your question specifically. Okay?
Okay, no problem. I'm still gonna be here till we're in a platform, so I'm gonna be here. I'm not in a hurry. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Peter Obi Lastborn, go ahead and make your remarks, and then after that, we'll
All right, thank you very much. Sorry about that. I said my network was glitching. Yeah. So as I was saying earlier, I was saying the reason why I asked all those questions. Max, please can you mute your mic?
I'm gonna be here till.
Okay, go ahead.
So we are good now.
Peter Obi.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I think the reason why I was asking that question is because you know what Abure did to us in the last election, him being there and him being recognized. Anambra election, we do everything we want to do. Him being there, except we have people that for everything. That is why obedient work immediately by now. Anambra State has importance to us. We don't need to allow Abure hijack it by doing any other thing. All right, let me progress. So it's actually good, yeah, but somehow I'm seeing it as a distraction right now at the moment. This is not the obedient I know. Like all focus right now is in the coalition. If we not build our structure, when it's time, even when our principal move to the ADC, how are we going to back him up? When it's about movement, nobody's talking about another election, nobody's talking about anything again. The registration, everything. Like right now, the focus is just coalition. Who is next? Who is this one, or this? Yeah, I know it's a good one, but we are giving so much attention there, which is causing destruction. Look at what yesterday somebody sent a voice note to me that people in Gombe, APC are sending people, sponsoring them to go and register. If you check well, sponsoring them to go and register as a member in their ADC offices, just to make sure they have voice. APC want to use all possible means to infiltrate every angle of the ADC. What are we doing? This is our new party our principal have choose. Okay, how are we mobilizing people to occupy those parties? What are we doing? What is the next step? That is what we should be discussing right now. Let's discuss what the present matter. Not let's leave who is to rule the party. Who is that for our leader to talk about? Please let's not allow these people to infiltrate us with some of these things. We have to use wisdom. There is no time. How are we going to occupy offices in the ADC, in the new ADC? How are we going to register? What are the structure? What are the patterns? Please, let's start talking about that. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I'll hang on. I'll come up next.
Very short and direct.
Okay, so yeah, so good point. Peter Obi, yeah. So um, you raised a good point. We are going to use all our resources, all our networks, to keep pushing for people to go and register at the online portal. Here's the thing: the problem, if I can remember back um, with the Labour Party, there was a time Abure refused allowing obedience to register with the Labour Party. I remember he was blocking it because he knew that if obedience moved into the Labour Party, we might end up taking over some of the structures, and he blocked it. So ADC has kept this registration open. We have to move in. We cannot afford to be questioning, okay, should we go or should we not go? Should we move in or should we not move in? No, move in first and ask questions later. Because we know there is more advantage for you to move in and be inside than for you to be outside and calling for change or calling for or trying to call the shots. So let's not ask questions right now. Let's just get as much people as we want, as much friends and family as we can contact. Let's get them to move into the ADC, sign up, register, become members. You know, if any of you remember, the first convention that Abure was trying to organize for LP or Labour Party back then, he started coming up with all these stupid requirements. Oh, you have to be an LP member for 2 years before you qualify to be invited to the convention. Or you have to be this. You cannot just be a new LP member. You know, all that kind of bullshit. We don't want to be facing that kind of bullshit because right now we know that everybody's membership in the ADC is going to be the same. If you move in now and you take a seat, you're going to have equal opportunity and equal right like everybody else, including those so-called people that are running for presidency right now, because they're all joining coalition, they're all joining ADC just about the same time as you're joining. So it's a very strong reason for you and everybody to go and become equal members of this ADC because you don't want them to be saying, oh, you don't have the seniority to talk. You, after all, you came in, we are 1 year older than you in this place, or we are 6 months older than you in this party. You don't want to be told that. So let's just go ahead and do what we need to do. Get registered, get into the party, stop asking questions. We can ask all the questions later. move in, get your family and friends. If you require to sponsor pool to pay the dues to get in, sponsor pool, get in there, and we can ask all the questions later. Thank you.
Gospel, thank you so much. Thank you. I just wanted to come in here to, before we go to Theo, our brother that has joined us on the space, just to add to what you said. Peter Obi last born. I would like to ask you. Let me throw your question back to you. What is it that you would like to see? Because we've said people should join the coalition party, ADC. Several people have been trying to register through the website. People are going to their local, anywhere they can find a local office. What is it that troubles you as to what we should be doing now? Peter B. Lasbon, can you quickly share what you think we should be doing that we are not doing? Because I hear you saying coalition. It's important to talk about the coalition because that's a subject that is on the table politically. Even APC, they are running at us scatter. So you cannot run away from talking about the coalition. That's the main subject right now. But you have touched on something else. What is it that you want to see? What's holding you from joining the ADC and flooding the party? What's holding obedience? Is there anything holding anybody? Go ahead. Let me hear from you.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you very much, my boss, for that question. As it stand right now, I'm a member of ADC. I've registered ADC. I think after the engineer goes to register, I think I followed this. I saw it. I saw your question. If you can remember, I registered as a member just to activate my membership by pay some amount. That is just what remaining. And I think what is stopping us is that obedience, love the leaders to first command, and our leaders haven't come out publicly and said, okay, obedient, go out there and flood this, go out there. We love people to push us. So that Steve, it's not new to you. Obedient love people to push them. Say this, okay. Oga Tanko said this. Dr. Infa Tanko said this. Morris said this. Let's do this. This one said, let's do this. Aisha have been saying this. Go and register. Go and occupy. But it's not sounding relevant because she's not an ESCO in obedient movement. So we need all our state executives, all our state coordinators to talk to their people, take them, go and right now I brought the matter to my state coordinator and we're asking us to wait that they're still planning. The ADC are still planning. Why people are already registering, but we are waiting for people to still planning. So right now, even if it's people that don't have money, we should look for a way to support them. Carry 100 people to offices, carry 1,000 people to offices, go and crowd.
All right, I think we lose you. We lost you there, Maximus. I need you to mute your mic. Thank you very much. Okay,
Occupy this. Start talking about all this.
All right, Peter B. Last born, we are losing you, but it's okay. Your point has been noted. I've heard what you said, but you have done the right thing as well, in my opinion. You've taken the bull by the horn. You've registered and joined. You are part of the coalition, and that is a good thing. So, if anybody is on this space, you are wondering what to do, go and join the coalition. You don't have any reason to wait. And if you say, "Oh, what if there's a reason not to the coalition end up not being the platform for PO?" Nobody is going to tie your umbilical cord to the party. For now, Peter Obi is in the coalition. You should be in the coalition. The challenge with us as obedience largely is that we're not politicians. So many of us are not party members. But that time has passed. We must become politicians because politics affects our very lives. You have seen it now. I posted a tweet on the Jumbotron saying that from January, if you have 5 million transactions in your account, the bank will report you to FIRS to collect to come and tax you 25% or so. That's going to be everybody, whether you're a politician or not. Tinubu is coming for your money. It doesn't matter
Imagine.
whether you voted or not. So politics affects you whether you like it or not. So it's time to join the party. I don't know how difficult that can be. Go online if you cannot go physically. It's a website. Is also available.
It's very frustrating. Imagine in a country here where even being a Nigerian, where you can even trans more than 20 million naira without any tax or anything, and yet in your own back country you can't even do 5 million naira. without you being scrutinized. It's very derogatory. It's very sad, man.
I hear
Because
you.
this is a country where,
I
oh,
hear
sorry about that.
you.
Can I talk, please?
Please, Maximus, I need you to mute your mic. If you want to speak, you raise your hand so that we can have an order in the conversation. You see, people are on the speaker section. They raise how you raise your hand is there's a love button with a plus sign. When you press it, you see the option to raise your hand. I know you're new on these spaces, but welcome.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Do
All right.
that.
Thank you. I got it. All right. Oh, thank you.
Your
I'm
mic
sorry
is
about
on
that.
mute. You shouldn't unmute until you are asked to. That way we can
Oh,
vote
okay.
each other. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. My
Your mic is
apologies.
still on mute, sir. Thank you. Please leave it muted until it's time to speak. I like to bring a political um, heavyweight in these streets. Is of the PDP stock.
Steve, which PDP where they not the abandon? Which heavyweight?
King,
Now we they
King,
call the shot now.
King,
Now leave at you, Jare.
King Zanga, give honor to whom honor is due. Respect people that are veterans. Of all the pressure we wanna put for a body, he stood where he stood for. We've known each other on this street since 2022. So let me give flowers to him. He is now part of our coalition. So all his sins are forgiven. So Theo, you're welcome. You have the floor.
That's Steve. It's really good to be here. And, many of us here, we're on the same side 2019 up until 20, I think 2022, thereabouts. It's very important that I love the fact that you brought I requested to speak, and you brought me up here you know to speak. I really appreciate that. Thank you for not making this space an echo chamber where it will only be people in one part of the political spectrum that will speak. It is very important that we share ideas, you know, and as we go into 2027, there are issues that I would really want to address on this space. I'm sad that Jack is no longer on this space. I think he was speaking when I joined the space, and I overheard him, saying some people have been paid, to do this, to do that, and all of that. I was actually laughing. The reason why I was laughing? Reason being that, see, we don't need all of this. Trust me, we don't need all of this. All this infighting, it won't help us. Obi or nothing, Atiku or nothing, Amechi or nothing, all of these things, it won't help us. Like I always tell people, I've spoken with so many obedience, some are even on this space as we speak. I've spoken with them, and even Jack. Jack is my very good friend. I attended his wedding in Abuja here. We know many of us, we interact with each other off this space. There's more life than some of the fights that we some of the e-fighting that we do on here. The reason why I'm saying this is that we don't need this fight. In 2014, when 2013, 2014, when APC was formed, APC is a conglomerate of different political parties that came together, to form the party. There were various, interests, and their central goal was the ruling party, which was PDP, as of then. And the CPC, the ACN, the ANPP, all of these, parties that formed the APC, they were not attacking themselves. They were not insulting themselves online. They were not, as in, telling each other it must be this person or not this person. They were focused. And their focus was what? The ruling party, the PDP then. And they were spreading the message of APC, the progressive message aggressively. This is what I expected us who have indicated interest in this coalition to do. Check through my timeline. Since this coalition, I have never mentioned Atiku Abubakar. Personally, I am even angry with him, to start with. But that one is aside. One of the reasons why, I am actually angry with him is the fact that, see, you should have pre, during, and post-election strategy. And that is one thing that, in 2019, I didn't see that with him. In 2023, I didn't see that with him. We all know that the 2023 elections was shamelessly rigged in the favor of, the ruling party. What I expected Peter Obi and Atiku to have done was to mobilize supporters to either hit the streets in protest or keep pressuring, as in the umpire, the INEC, not to announce, that result until certain, gray areas around the elections are sorted. But I didn't see any of that. And even when we went to visit him after the elections, he was saying that we are young people, that we are the ones who supposed to go out there on the street to protest. Bro, you are the one that was going to be the president. If you hit the street and say that, okay, we will not accept this result. Imagine Obi Atiku marching to that conference center when the results were being collated and announced with their millions of supporters. Do you think that who is INEC that would announce that result? Come on, this is my grouse with him, and every one of his supporters, they know about this, and that is one of the reasons why I am not really concerned about who flies the flag of this coalition in 2027. I am 100% in support of whoever wins the presidential ticket. I can't live in a nation where there would not be an opposition to the ruling government. It doesn't make any sense to me. And that's one thing that I hated PDP for after 2023 elections. Come on. Even if it is releasing press statements to attack the government on certain policies and programs, do it. Yes, if you don't have the capacity to hit the street and protest, against certain policies, what happens to you releasing press statements to challenge the government on certain issues? So fundamentally, I can't live in a nation where the ruling party will do anything they like. There are no consequences for actions. It doesn't make any sense. You cannot build a society like that. And that is one of the reasons why I am 100% with this coalition. Every Nigerian, if you love this nation, you just have to make this coalition to work. I know that many people have different, as in, grievances with, the people who are maybe the arrowhead of this coalition. But trust me, my brother, there are no saints. As far as Nigerian politicians are concerned, there are no saints anywhere. And my encouragement to every member of the obedience movement here on this space is that please go and get registered. Jack was here earlier and he was saying that um, His Excellency Peter Obi remains, a member of the Labour Party. Please, nobody see. We should stop deluding ourselves. The Labour Party of today, is technically uh, owned by, the APC. The PDP today is technically owned by the APC. So you shouldn't, as in, you see that the threat by the Labour Party that they are going to expel His Excellency Peter Obi is going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen. Your only, as in, governor, Alex Suti, he's going to the APC. If you don't know it. Umba of Enugu, he's going to the APC. Many of them are going to cross carpet to the APC. The reason why some of them are, trying to soft pedal in a way is because of is because of this coalition, the way the coalition is going at the moment. Because they didn't expect that Nigerians would embrace the coalition the way they did. They didn't expect that the coalition was going to challenge the ruling party the way the coalition is challenging the ruling party. So what am I saying? Please don't allow anybody to deceive you. Labour Party today is under the APC. It is the APC that dictates everything that they do in that particular, as in, party at the moment. So please, I understand Jack's, sentiment to the Labour Party, but trust me, the Labour Party that you knew in 2022 and 2023 general elections is no longer the Labour Party. Is no longer the Labour Party. And the earlier, we stop deceiving ourselves, the better for us. And again, my encouragement to you people is that, please, those of you registering online, as of today, I don't know if that particular link that you are registering and also, paying money is credible. That is just the truth. I made my inquiry and I discovered that that particular link is not really, credible. So please stop wasting your money. Stop, as in, giving people your hard-earned money, for any registration. Today I was at our state's that is Kogi State stakeholders meeting, and various issues were raised, and issues like registration and mobilization came up, and also the unveiling of the party in different states came up. And this particular issue of registration, it is the national that is the current interim national chairman and the secretary that is supposed to sign on the card. And if you notice, I don't think that any of the cards being paraded online are signed by any of these people. And you can't be parading a card that was signed by the outgone national chairman and that of the national secretary. So please, we should beware of some of these people. Don't go and start giving your hard-earned money to individuals that you don't even know. Please, if you want to register, go to your ward. If you can't come down, for those of you who are in the diaspora, I will encourage you to please, either, the party registration is not cost, it's around, 1,000 naira when the cards are out. So please, just get someone in your village, in your ward, to to help you go to your ward secretariat to register you as a member of the ADC if you can't come down for now. That is how it is done from the ward level, right? From the ward level to the local government and states. That is how to participate in the electoral process. I was at the stakeholders meeting today, and I was privileged to speak on behalf of the youth. I was only I think I was the youngest person there today. So, and they gave me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the youths, of which I categorically, told them that, see, you need to carry the young people along. You need their energy, and you also need, their resources as well. They are very committed. They are energized. They want this coalition to work, and there's every need for you to carry them along. So please, I encourage you to start making inquiry about ADC in your various ward and local governments. Get off this space. We can come back here to make noise, but we need to go to the grassroots level, get registered, and mobilize support for the party. As I'm
Thank
talking
you.
to you right now, I'm looking for ways, I'm concluding now. I'm looking for ways, to get a bus that will bring people from my local government to Lokoja on the 14th, that we are formally unveiling the party at a venue which will be announced very soon, in Lokoja. So this is how to participate in electoral process. Jack, that was here earlier and was saying all manner of things. I do not think that Jack of things in KB, in Ondo, different places, they are collapsing. Doing so, please, guys. In conclusion, let's stop this infighting. It won't help us. I
Thank you.
know that you can push your candidate without calling out, the other, and I've made it a point of duty not to attack, any aspirant or anybody who will become coalition. And we should convince people with love and not with threats. This is my advice to every one of us. And I pray that this coalition works for the good of every one of us. Whoever is the presidential candidate will support the person to defeat the APC. The APC is the common enemy here and not ourselves. Thank you, Stephen, for this, and God's will, for this opportunity to come on this space to speak.
Thank you.
I hope that going forward we'll work together harmoniously, to give ourselves a country that actually works.
Thank you very much. Theo, you have touched on very important points. Um, and okay, I was going to engage you very quickly. Okay, you're still here. So I wanted to, Theo, you are from Kogi State, not Central State. I'm from Edo. You're just, you guys border us in Edo State. So the consensus from Nigerians, taking the pulse, if you, when you look at online polls that have been conducted, and the general political understanding that in Nigeria, for peace and tranquility and reciprocity, that it is now an unwritten rule that when the North does 8 years, the South will do 8 years. And this started around when Obasanjo became the president in 1999. He did 8 years, in my opinion, very successful. One of the most successful periods of Nigeria since in this Fourth Republic. and he handed over to a northerner, the late Yaradua, which is aligning with that agreement. It's not written, it's not constitutional, but it is common sense. Of course, he did pass away, and there were arguments around when the then Vice President Goodluck Jonathan was not even allowed to act until the doctrine of necessity. I don't want to go into history, but point is, they not really fought the fact that they didn't want to lose that their own 8 years, and that was one of the reasons why Goodluck promised to run one term. And when he did his one term, he wanted to now go again because he was now incumbent president, and the North wholeheartedly joined the coalition with the Southwest, ACN and CPC, and the story is the birth of the APC catastrophic demonic party that we now have to remove because of this whole thing. So now it is 8 years of Buhari, a Fulani man from Castina. In their wisdom, the APC zoned the presidency to the south because they know it makes no sense after Buhari from the north, it should go to the south. And Tinubu was the candidate that emerged. PDP is in crisis, got into the crisis because your candidate in the 2023 election refused to honor that agreement. Atiku identifies as a Fulani man. Buhari identifies as a Fulani man. Nigeria has over 250 separate ethnic groups, people that are different in tribe and culture, that make up this marriage we call Nigeria. It only makes sense out of that 253 are major that the power kind of rotates in that sense. And it was one of the reasons that Wike used to say he would never support Atiku. Of course, we can argue that he lost the primaries and all that, but a Southerner is in a presidency today. And since this coalition announcement, my brother Tio, the movement, there's earthquake, there's a tsunami going on. APC is confused because Nigerians are all awake. I myself am one of those who left the political spaces and conversations since the APC were running Nigeria aground, trying to form one party states, forcing governors to decamp into APC like Delta, like we saw in Akwa Ibom. And of course, I hear Bayelsa may be going to, soon. So point is, since the coalition announcement, a Southern Peter Obi being there with all these great leaders, including Alhaji Atiku, who was gracious enough to have him as VP in 2019, that really helped his national identity and notoriety, is still in that coalition. And the conversation is, why is it not clear that it is best for Alhaji Atiku to support Peter Obi in order to get this organic movement that is, they call us a mob, to join and push the coalition to unseat the incumbent? Because the argument is that if the coalition goes to a primary and you have to do all those stuff that goes on in primary, and you now find a way to bring out a northerner, you will lose the momentum you have, and that will be the nothing. When they say, oh, this person or nothing, that nothing means status quo, backwardness, suffering, hunger, insecurity, which is the APC government. So I know you've not mentioned your candidate, and the way you came up on this space, I really appreciate your neutrality. You're somewhat neutral and open-minded, but is it not better if the coalition makes a decision and let the people know this will be our presidential candidate early enough so that we can build that structure, it becomes clear? Again, maybe you don't have to answer on this space, but I just wanted to say, it is
No,
when
no,
you
no,
say
no, no. I
anybody that
can. I
emerged,
can. I can. I can.
because what I hear from your side of the argument is anybody that emerge. It is, we are asking, I'm not forcing, of course, why not the Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, which is the real big elephant in the room? For me, there are two major force, which is those that came, according to INEC, second and third, with 6 million votes plus apiece. These two people must come together if they are to unseat Tinubu. That's the fact. And the person to Peter Obi has offered one term of 4 years because he said power must go to the north in 2031. He is not selfish. And he's a man of his word. And you and I know that at least Peter Obi will not be able. He's not someone to go back on his word. I think it will be wise for you guys when you meet in your own circles to really think about adopting Peter Obi so that this movement can really unseat this catastrophe that we have called the APC. But I would like for you to respond to that, and I will continue to move the mic. Thank you, Theo,
Okay.
for joining us. But react to
All
my
right.
points.
Thank you very much. I will try my best to keep this, very, very, very short. My dear brother, for the past 18 months, these leaders, they've been meeting without, off camera. They've been having conversations among themselves. And His Excellency Peter Obi, he has been part of that conversation as well. In the end, my bro, I will tell you that decisions concerning, the who flies the flag of this coalition will still be the delegates. Do you understand? It will still be the delegates. Even if His Excellency Peter Obi is giving maybe, express approval to contest and be the presidential candidate of, the coalition, are you telling me that you will not allow him, to go through the normal democratic process of primaries, where there would be other contestants who would, maybe come up or aspire to be this presidential candidate of the coalition as well? Are you telling me that you do not want that kind of, democratic process? Yes, if you can prevail on Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to drop his presidential ambition and support Peter Obi, good and fine. See, 2023 elections has taught many of us lessons that you should not take anybody for granted. Personally, I took Peter Obi for granted, and I was shocked. Yes, you can record his face and post it anywhere you want to post. But it is reality. I'm a realist. See, I was shocked with the number that he got in 2023. I actually thought that maximum he was going to score, 2 million, 3 million votes. 6 million? I didn't expect it actually, but it happened. However, there are other places that you are not looking at, of which I expect you people to do more work, even as the obedient movement, is places where His Excellency Peter Obi couldn't get 25% in the last election. Because getting that 25% is very, very important. Why do you think that Bola Ahmed
So continue
Tinubu?
your point, but I need to step away. Godswill will take over. He
Okay.
has a question for you as well. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I just
Theo.
have a question.
Okay. So why
Hello,
do you think that,
hello. So here's the thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna. So here's the thing. I know I've got a lot of. I just want to let everybody that has requested. I want you all to know that we are going to bring you up. We're going to hasten it up and bring you up because we want to hear from everybody. We want to make this an open conversation. So just stick with us. I know you've requested. We see you, and we're going to bring you up real quickly and get you to air your opinions. But before we actually move away from this conversation, Tio, can you just keep within 2 minutes? Can you tell me why? What is your opinion when you see the principles or the leadership in this coalition? And I'm talking about Nasir Rufai, I'm talking about Amechi, and these guys have drawn the line. They've given preconditions. They've actually demanded with unequivocally for these presidents to be so zoned to the south. I mean, it's not like they've said, okay, maybe or could have or would have. They've all demanded, both Nasir Rufai and Amechi demanded that the line in the sand is that these prisoners be zoned to the south. What do you say about wanting to contravene or go against that condition that they've placed, even as this coalition is evolving? And I just want to keep it to about 2 minutes. Thank you.
That is why I said, leaders are having conversation. They've been having conversation, for the past 18 months, right? And it's good that they are coming out now to say that they want this to still be in the south, right? That they want this to still be in the south. So if they want it to be in the south, then at that top level, at that top level, it is left for them to convince themselves that, see, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, we are going to you should drop your presidential ambition at this point and try your best to support the a southerner to succeed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, to cut the whole long story short, these leaders that are coming out to say that, okay, power should be zoned to the south, or that power should remain in the south, it is them, the leaders, that should convince whoever, be it Atiku, be it whoever, as in, that has a presidential ambition from other regions that are not supposed to produce a presidential candidate at this very moment,
Okay.
to drop their ambition.
Okay, thank you. I mean, that was good. Thank you. I appreciate your being honest about this. We're just going to go ahead and move the mic. Thank you to
I have a
everybody
question
once
for
again.
you.
Thank you once again. No, just hold on. You're going to ask a question when your turn comes. I want to just go ahead and move the mic. We're going to have Kolade. Kolade is going to go, and then after Kolade, we're going to have Eche. Eche is going to go, and after that, we're going to have Alpha Alethea. And then we're going to now bring in people. We're going to cycle people and bring them up real quick because we want to hear from everybody. But yeah. So the title is Peter Obi is the front runner and the best to lead the ADC coalition. Not only is the fact that Amechi and Nasir Rufai had already demanded in their commentary, both on video and on their publications, that it should be zoned to the south. They have demanded, and these are the leadership of the coalition. So the question now is, what are the risks for the coalition to go against this political universe, pointing us that it has to be zoned to the south? What are the consequences of going against this general consensus, not just within the ADC coalition universe, but also within the voters, within the population of voters? Kolade, go ahead. And after that, we now go with the rest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother. My brother Tio, thank you so much for having the courage to even come up here and discuss to us like a family that we are. Okay, so I have two questions for you, and the first one has to do with the online registration that you just mentioned, because I find it very hard and difficult to go with the reason you gave, which is that, oh, the chairman and whoever you say, some people needs to sign, and because you don't know the old exco. Because I've made that argument, because anything we do, okay, let me say this, anything we do at the onset goes a very long way, in building people's level of trust for, in quote, the system or the platform. So why I'm saying this is, okay, are we saying we want to nullify all those who have registered online for them to go back and register at their local wards? Or are we saying that, okay, because there's no way you would have an online portal, payment portal, where you can pay and money will be received without valid company data like the registration. And there's no way such money will go into a private account. It has to go into, in quotes, the party's account. So, and if the party changed leadership, are you saying they didn't exchange the account signatory where you could have access, or are you saying that the company in charge is not reachable for this to be resolved? Why do we just want to? Is the man still here? I
Okay,
haven't seen man though, but
Kolade, just hold on a second. You're going to continue real quick. I just want to clarify something real quick about that party registration. So, out of the documentation that I've seen online, the official website for the ADC party is there are two official websites for the ADC. Okay, two official websites. One of them is adcparty.com and the other one is adc.org.ng. Okay. Now, here's the thing. The thing is that I myself registered in one of them in adc.org.ng, and I paid and I got my membership card. But when I heard what Tia was saying about, duplicity, there could be fake websites and all that, what I did was I now went to the other second website and I logged in with my credentials, my email address and password to see if it recognized what I registered with the other website. And guess what? It was correct. And I went in there and they both have the same information that I had registered. So both of the websites owned by ADC actually showed my information, my payment, all the details for my registration, and it's all you might have both websites, but they all contain the same thing. So you can go ahead and register. I don't think there's any confusion about the website because these are the only two, and I've done a lot of research to find out if there is any other fake websites for ADC, and these are the only two, and both of them look quite genuine. So I just wanted to inject that. Kolade, go ahead.
yeah, thank you so much. I did the same thing too. So what they do, they redirect, both of them redirect to the same website, like the same domain, and everything is still seated. Even while they were doing the upgrade, like a couple of days ago, like everybody was thrown out, you can't register. But immediately they finished the upgrade, boom, everything work on both platforms. So I confirmed that. So that's why I'm so surprised to what you is saying right now, because like now it looks more like, okay, they want to micromanage things. Okay, go to your local ward. Like if you get to local ward, they're going to have pre-signed paper in this current age. So to me, because little things like this, man, look, don't let me, so that I don't mess up people's mind. Let's maintain our open mind, but I think we should run this as in quotes one, rather than like it's an extension of the PDP branch, and the PDP guys want to be in charge of everything, and every other person coming will be there, whatever. Once we are ready, I think we know exactly what to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kolade. So we're gonna go quickly. We're gonna run this real quick. Nehemiah, I see your hand. I'm looking to bring up a whole bunch of people, but you're gonna go get your turn. But right now, we're just gonna go with Eche Zona and Prince Savior. I think you've had your chance before, but we're gonna bring you in again to chime in. But we're gonna go with Eche Zona, and then we're gonna go with Alefia after that, and then we're gonna come back to Nehemiah and then Prince Savior.
God's way, I greet everybody. How is everything?
We're doing great. Thank you.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I'm very, very tired, but as I saw your this thing, especially you co-hosting, I said I must speak. And again, I saw the topic on the space. I said, okay, certainly I must speak. Do you understand me? I was in some one space this morning. What I was hearing there is not something to write home about, but the truth of the matter is that I was very busy to speak then. You understand me? Because I don't understand. I don't know whether should I say we are blacks or what. I don't understand. We keep on. I don't know. We keep on doing the same mistake every time. Honestly, I don't know when this all stuff is going to end. You understand me? Even as I'm talking to you now, I'm very, very afraid because black man will never learn. Okay, coming to the topic of this space, the truth of the matter is very simple. like what I used to say in all these places I've been to. I don't, because to be honest with you, if he asks these people that are pushing for Atiku to give you the reasons. One guy spoke in one of the space this morning. He said it's the first time he'll be speaking on this space. I've been to many spaces listening, but he never spoken all this while. But this morning was his first time to speak. And he said that in all these things, it's not obedient, it's not articulate, it's not anybody, he's just a plain guy. Just ask simple questions. He said in all these things, in the spaces he have been to, I've been listening to people. You have been listening to obedient, highlighting, talking, giving, instances, talking, providing solution and all that. But you have never seen Atiku people or Atiku, should I call the sycophants? Sorry, that's what I call you guys. Sorry to say. You say you have never seen them, highlight on what this guy is capable of doing or what this guy is going to do. The only thing they will tell you, let's go to primaries, let's do this thing. And Obi has been going to, all these TV stations, all these granting interviews. You have never seen Atiku, all these people granting the same interview. Does it make any sense? This person is going everywhere, telling you what he will do, and this one sits at a place. He send his boys to be going everywhere and trying to gaslight people, blackmail people. And when people say Obi or nothing, they will now try to tell you, you have to slow down, you have to stop saying that. Honestly, I don't understand. See, we have been killing demons. Demon must die, Satan must die. But you guys don't even know that human beings, they are demons. The first demon I know in Nigeria are these APC people. After these people that are pushing for Atiku, there are another second demon. Whether you guys like it or not, I don't bloody care. Are they after taking power? Are they after Nigerian masses dying of poverty, dying of hunger? I don't understand some mindset of and I engaged one the other day. He was telling me that because Obi don't give an article, and once you push them on a kind of tight corner, they will now maneuver it and now bring out the issue of Amechi to show you these people know what they are doing. If you now bracketed them like you now circle them in a place like they wouldn't be able to escape. They will not jump. The next thing is Amechi via certain sentiment. They are not even after. They never ask themselves who is going to win Tinubu. Like I used to say, what majority of them, 90% of them are after? Let me tell you the truth. They're after campaign fund. If you don't know it today. 90% of them, they know that Atiku is not going to win Tinubu. They're after what they will be able to grab, and that is final. They're not after the welfare of masses. They're not after the welfare of Nigerians. You understand me? From their tone, from their voice, we know that these people don't mean well for Nigerians. They are angry because APC people, they are eating. They are the same thing. There's nothing different with them. They are the same people. They are pushing because they want to be there. Not about Nigeria, not about Nigeria's situation. No. Is their pocket. And you see them, moreover, going everywhere, going on one space to another, trying to gaslight obedient, trying to they always gaslight, they always come up with one kind of useless gaslighting statement like if you are trying to say Obi or nothing, people that even if Obi wins the ticket, people that are willing to support Obi, they will not say no, they will not nonsense talk. They have nothing to talk, bro. I have to be honest with you. Because they know the truth. Their conscience is there, telling them this man is the man. But because of their pocket, they wouldn't want to admit it. So we casually say, okay, we know Obi is the best, but we are looking for who will win who is going to win. Bas, let me tell you the truth. Atiku is not going to see 20% against Tinubu. Take it or leave it. And the another thing that they are projecting is that let's go to primaries. They don't have anything upstairs. They don't have anything inside their skull. What they're after is that dollar they are going to share at primary. Okay, they never ask themselves, what if they go into these primaries and Atiku win? Because their own mind now is that Obi must, not Obi we. Listen to me, oh, not Obi we. Their own mindset now is that Obi must deputize Atiku. That's why they are pushing for these primaries. If they do their Magomago finish and Atiku wins, then they will now try to gaslight Obi there for Obi to. And I tell them, I will even swear with my life. You see, Obi, if at the end of the day, Atiku wins this this ticket, in as much as you cannot win and take it. No, their own mindset is that Atiku must win and Obi must deputize him. Very arrogant people. If you see them talking, you think that they have something upstairs. No. They don't have conscience. These people, they don't have conscience. They are like the same thing with the APC people. They are evil. To be honest with you, it's better. Let me tell you the truth. Oh. You see all these things they are doing. If Obi wins this ticket, the way the rate these people are going, let me be honest with you, I don't think they will work with Obi. Oh. They will try to sabotage Obi. Let me be honest with you. You that is fighting for new Nigeria, you that is fighting for better Nigeria, they are not fighting the same way you are fighting. They are fighting against you. But what they are doing is that they are cunning. They just want to use you to get to the presidency. Nothing again that's inside their mind. They don't have anything to give. To be honest with you, all these things that are going about, if you see them jumping from one space to another, you would think, if you give them mic, you would think they are trying to make sense. At the end of the day, they will make useless, they will make nonsense out of themselves, and they are not even ashamed of themselves. To be honest with you, all these things, when I hear them speak, is very disgusting. Because if you try to see them make sense or give reasons why they support this man, they won't be able to give any reason. Like, I'm supporting this man because of so. No. So let's call a spade a spade. Enough is enough. We have gotten to a stage whereby we cannot keep on sugarcoating things, or we try to be politically correct. No. If you guys don't know what people are passing through in Nigeria, I feel it here. In as much as I'm not there, I always feel it. People are passing through a lot, and these people now, they have the party now to make things right, but they still want to repeat the same mistake they did in 2022. Does that make any sense to any sane human being? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And to be honest with you, let me finalize. To be honest with you, you see, for me personally, let me tell you, for me personally, if I'm to advise PO, I will advise him to leave that coalition, because if all these things is not the plan he have with Atiku, Erufai, and other things, personally, I will advise him to leave those people. You understand me? Because even the day this ADC was formed, you see all these PDP people, Atiku sacrifice, their joy have no band. Like like the best thing that have ever happened to them this year. All of them are filled with joy. They are the ones that need this coalition more than anybody. And obedient, they were like, okay, let's keep on observing you guys. You guys are happy, Abi. Let's keep on. They don't even understand. Obedient, they have mind of their own. This one, okay, Peter Obi will come tomorrow. I vote for. Nobody will listen to him. To be honest with you, these ones that are gallivanting everywhere, if once you give them dollar, once you give them small money, you will see them. They will change. They will twist. But for Obi to come tomorrow and say Obi, nobody, they will even curse Obi. If Obi is not, if they didn't give Obi that ticket, and Obi come tomorrow and say Obi, then oh yeah, so people will even curse Obi. To be honest with you, Atiku, you see Atiku win that ticket, Tinubu, the way Tinubu will flag Atiku, ha ha ha. I don't even know what I go talk. I know even the way this Tinubu will flag Atiku, ha ha ha. I don't know what I go talk. May they just they do they go. I just they look they may they just they how would I put it? To be honest with you, their this thing is disgusting. Their attitude, their approach. Everything about them is disgusting. You know why? Because this thing is not from their heart. They are not saying it as the truth. That's just saying it because they want this thing to be like this. Not that this thing is the truth. If you talk about competent capacity, if you talk about age-wise, if you talk about even certain sentiment, even regional sentiment. So how in this life will you be pushing for Atiku ahead of Obi? How? And other people will come. Some of these other people will come. They will tell you, do not have the number. Which number? Which number not I have? If you guys know what is good, it's very simple. If Obi enter there after 2031, Obi will hand over to anybody you people bring. It's as simple as ABCD. Instead, they are telling you for article to go after the article to go, and you believe that the only politician I will believe in Nigeria is PO. Let me be honest with you. The only politician I will believe in Nigeria is PO. Apart from PO, you see all these people lying. I will not believe any of them. So for obedience, let me tell you guys the truth. Oh, if you guys don't know, let me tell you guys the truth. Oh, the truth I have to tell you guys. You see, whenever they come to gaslight you people, please, if you are 40% this thing wave, how would I put it? Please double it to 80%. Don't give them any breathing space. They know what they are doing. Don't ever give them any breathing space. Because they want you to just subpedal so that they will have their way. Don't you ever give them. And another thing I want to tell Obedient, listen good. Some of you guys hate El-Rufai, but you guys don't even understand what is happening. The number one person that is pushing for this PO is El-Rufai. I always say this. Take it or you leave it. The number one superpower that is pushing for this P2OB is El-Rufai. If El-Rufai is doing it for his selfish interest to become vice, me personally, I don't know. But the only person that is pushing, I wouldn't say the only person, but the major person that is pushing for PO to get this ticket is El-Rufai. So if you like, keep on hating El-Rufai. You hate El-Rufai and you don't hate Tinubu. What has El-Rufai committed that Tinubu have never committed 100 times? Me personally, I don't hate El-Rufai more than me. But I don't like emotion to come into
my hand they pain me. My hand they pain me.
You understand me? I know this person that is start displaying penny is a PDP article Sankofan. That's the way to know them. They don't like truth. Once you started talking like this, what they don't want to hear, they will start. I know them very well. Make on a push article now. When I know one good Nigerian, make on a push article. All of us go die there. I rest my case. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Eddie. Man, you came with fire, man. Your fire, your fire, na heavenly fire. The thing, the ginger in there. Well, that's the kind of ginger we want. Let's all jokes apart, because when this is a matter of life and death, I mean, we're facing an existential threat. This is a matter of life and death, and we have to treat it as such. So all jokes apart, all fun apart. This, I mean, your submission was on point, was on point. I mean, the passion was on point. This is a fight for our survival. I mean, the next election is going to decide whether we exist as a country or we cease to exist as a country. But I only have one opposition to what you said. Just one point I need to make, and I need to clear it up. Okay. Your suggestion that Peter Obi should exit the coalition, I would disagree with you on that. I would honestly disagree with you on that, because breaking news, because I'm looking at breaking news story. This is from Akpabio, Senator Akpabio, recent, just now. He said, Nigerians, don't be deceived. Coalition politics unrealistic. Now, you tell me, the Senate President Akpabio that has been violating the Constitution since he got sworn in as Senate President. I don't want to go into details with what is going on with Natasha. You think that if Akpabio is so scared that he came out today to tell Nigerians that they shouldn't be deceived, the coalition is scaring the bejesus out of them? Okay, so I understand, your passion. You say Peter Obi should know the coalition is a direction that will actually scare APC out of power come 2027. All right, The only thing I'm going to add to what you said is this, and I'm going to hand it over to Prince Savior, Prince, I think Prince, yeah, Prince G. The only thing I'm going to say is this, okay? We have seen politicians talk with proxies. Why? Because we know they don't like to be held accountable for what they say. Tinubu did it all throughout the campaign before he was elected. Anytime he goes to any place, he's going to designate, okay, you talk for me. You talk for me. They ask him a question, he's not going to answer. He's going to say, okay, where is Rufai? Rufai should talk. Where is this guy? This guy should talk. We're sick and tired of politicians delegating commentaries to proxies. We're sick and tired of politicians running away from questions. We're sick and tired of politicians running away from being held accountable. It's only criminal politicians that run away from being questioned by Nigerians. It's time we cease to take politicians seriously whenever they refuse to face Nigerians. Peter Obi had come in and he has talked on formal media without proxies. He has talked in Twitter space without proxies. It's time for whoever, whoever should come on Twitter space and talk without proxies and talk about what they want. Okay? So right now we're going to go to Prince G. Prince G, go ahead. After Prince G, we're going to go to
Before Prince
Maximus.
G,
Maximus, I'm going to let you talk after Prince G. After that, then we're going to now go down to
uh,
Alethea. Alethea, sorry about that. I know
Gospel,
you've
can you
been
hear
around for
me?
quite some time. And I'm going to,
Hello, Gospel, can you hear me, Senator?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I will go to PG next and we'll follow the queue. But let me just quickly say that I'm seeing a report from what's this guy's name? Kenneth Okonkwo, and he said he will back a Northerner for 2027. That Peter Obi would not win if he gets the coalition ticket. That's what Kenneth Okonkwo is saying, and if it kind of follows in line with what's his name? Dele Momodu, who also came online after he finished fighting Wike. Two of them have their personal fight, right? And said he will support Atiku. These people, Kenneth Okonkwo's own, I don't understand it yet, but I know that something is clearly wrong with Kenneth Okonkwo. He has a personal beef with PO, apparently. But we should be careful with people like that. Anybody that wants to sell you Atiku Abubakar that understands the political rotation, that this is 8 years that has to be in the south. Anybody that is trying to use through the back door to push for the north is not a friend of Nigeria. It's not a friend of unity. It's not a friend of progress. I'm not talking about candidacy now. I'm saying if you don't think the south deserves to do their 8 years and for power to go back to the north 2031, if you notice, there is no southern politician that is pushing to run in 2031. All the major political parties in 2031 are preparing to run in Northerner. Why is that? Why do you think that is the case? Because they understand that the North will not negotiate. You see this, my brother, Eche Zona now. People think it's very hot. The guy, this guy on fire. Idea of gaslighting us, Say let it be open. Anybody that's what I was telling my friend Theo that came up. For a manager, you don't say anybody apply.